What is going on, geeks and gamers? We are here live for the Gaming with Geeks podcast, and man, it's almost like nothing happened this week in terms of video games. What do we have to talk about? I suppose we'll find something, but let's introduce our normal panelists and our special guest for the day. Lethal Lightning, how are you doing, my Australian friend?
G'day, my American brother. I just did the most tamest stream I have done all year, and I got taken down for nudity. And this is ironic because this is the one time I didn't actually show anything that bad.
Was your retroactively dick hanging out?
They're retroactively getting Lethal Lightning for all the other nudity that he's had on streams, even though this one he didn't have.
Yeah, I know. This one was tame as fuck, and it got deleted. It's bullshit.
And the reason this took us so long to start today, we were all ready to go, and then the Canadian was having PC problems. Mark the Cyborg,
specifically microphone problems, but yeah, I still don't exactly know what's going on. So if I sound too quiet, everyone let me know, and I'll crank up my physical gain on my little audio interface.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear you.
Are you seriously? Can you guys not hear me?
No, I'm just kidding. Just speak a little louder though. And then Jeremy, the man, the myth, the legend in his own mind.
In my own mind. Geeks and gamers in your bio means that you have no credibility whatsoever. That's what I've learned over the last 24 hours. But yeah, happy to be here. Happy to say fuck Naughty Dog. Happy to talk about Cyberpunk, and happy to have Yellow Flash here.
There you go. And speaking of, we do have Yellow Flash as our guest today. What's going on, Flash?
What's up? How you guys doing? Glad to be here. Looking forward to railing on Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog and the Game Awards.
God, all that shit was just as cringe as everyone expected. There was so much going on during the Game Awards because you had the Disney presentation where they've just basically said, hey, let's just shotgun Star Wars at the wall and see what comes out. And then as that's happening, the Game Awards starts. You got Brie Larson cringe. It was everything that you thought it would be. But the first thing we're going to talk about today is Cyberpunk, the most hyped game of the past decade, maybe, is finally here. It's out. And I would say there's a little bit of controversy about its release. We've seen the Metacritic scores come in. There's a lot of people that have problems with this game, mostly based on performance, not so much the actual game itself. We're not going to start with Lethal last time because we started with him on our first impressions, and he basically said, fuck it. Mark has probably played more than anybody. Mark, your experience so far after putting a lot of hours into Cyberpunk, you have a top NPC that you're playing it on, so you're probably not having these bugs and glitches. What are your thoughts about it right now?
I just changed the settings, so am I super loud right now by any chance?
You're good enough.
Okay, I just didn't want to destroy everybody's ears. I really like the game a lot, to the point that I'm now concerned about how long I'm going to have to make the potential fanboy disclaimer warning at the beginning of my review, because I really, really, really like the game, and I'm a person who was very excited for it. I'm pretty much the only one on this panel or on Geeks and Gamers that really, really is into it. But at the same time, I do want to objectively analyze the game and be very, very honest about its problems, which I will. But I think that it's got a lot of what makes Witcher 3 really amazing, and some of those things don't start becoming apparent until later on. For example, the side quests are absolutely the best content in the game so far. The main quest is kind of the Johnny Silverhand stuff that you've seen in the trailers and everything, but there's also characters that you meet that are not really quest givers, but they kind of help you out in a couple quests, and each of them seem to kind of have their own quest line where you really get to know them and have kind of its own little self-contained story that usually is if you help us with all this, we'll give you something to help you with your Johnny Silverhand situation. So it factors into the main story, but it's really kind of its own little story that's at the side. So do not skip the side quests, everybody, if you're playing this game. You really are. You would be skipping the best parts of the game, at least from what I've seen so far. Every so often I'll fire off a main mission, and it's fine. They're more or less okay missions, but I'm not really super enthralled by the main story. But the side quests, then character stories, seem to be what's really making me want to just sink 25 hours into this game within the last 3 days, which
Yeah.
is my current game time.
For me, we did our first impressions video, and I the first 4 hours of this game I streamed, and I said that I think that might have impacted how I felt about it. I think it really did, because I've played about 4 hours since then. I've completed the prologue and everything, and I do think that I think it's better than what I initially felt. I was able to immerse myself a little more when I'm not reading bits and super chats or whatever the entire time. So I feel better about it than I did when we talked a few days ago. There's still something for me. I think it might have something to do with being in first person. I feel like what I thought Cyberpunk would be is I would be able to create really create my character, be able to do like whatever I wanted. But instead I feel like I am V, and I'm kind of along for the ride, and it feels different in first person to have your character talking like that. Whereas in Witcher 3, I feel like, hey, that's Geralt. I'm making these decisions for Geralt. I care about Geralt. And then when you have RPGs that you play and your character doesn't talk, you just have dialogue options. I feel like I am truly getting to kind of choose what happens. But with V, it doesn't really seem that way. I don't know if anyone else has felt that. It's kind of a weird thing. That's kind of what I'm narrowing it down to, why I don't feel quite as high on this as I did in something like Witcher 3.
Well, me and you talked about this the other day, and I actually agreed with you, because I talked about like my experience with like Half-Life 2 and how you don't really speak as Gordon, you know? And so it kind of makes it feel like it's your story and not someone else's story. And when V is speaking, you just feel like it's not your story, it's someone else's story you're experiencing, and it kind of it's doesn't make it bad or good. It's going to change a certain way you have a perspective on it. I've played the game, like I said, when I played it on my PC, which is kind of like a Walmart PC at this point. Like, it's not very good. I didn't have a great experience, but PS5 actually have had a much better experience in terms of the way the game runs. So that changes the way it seems, and it's fine. It's not pulling me in though. I'm not wanting to. As much as I want to be pulled into this world, the characters so far just haven't really pulled me in and everything like that. But I'm way early into the game, only a few hours into it, and there's a lot. So you can't really judge it on a few hours in. These aren't typically my style of games anyway. I don't usually have a lot of time to invest in a game like this. But I think for the people that know exactly what they're getting into and what to expect, I think people are going to love this game if that's the type of thing they were looking for. But the performance issues, if you look at what happened with The Witcher 3, everybody knows the whole story with that one. Really buggy, and there was a lot of problems. But once they all fixed it, most people say it's one of the greatest games of the generation. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with Cyberpunk. From everything I've heard, and people like Mark know a lot more about this than me, but it sounds like they probably should have delayed the game. It should have been delayed well into 2021, and I think they would have had a much smoother launch.
Yeah,
but I will say about the characters, if you haven't seen the title card yet, like the Cyberpunk 2077 like end of prologue thing, you have not even met a single main character. Yeah, like pretty much everyone in the prologue is like just kind of there for the prologue, and like some of them are around afterwards a little bit, but none of the people that you really spend a lot of time with that you've even met yet. So
gotcha.
Right.
Flash, what did you think?
Well, I'm not that far into it, but I mean, I like it so far. I just need to sit down and play it more, but I've just been so busy this week with all the stuff going on. But I like it. I haven't had very many problems. You know, like I said when we were talking before yesterday, when I was playing it, my car was like 4 feet off the ground. But as soon as I got into it, it was normal again. So I think it'll all get fixed in time. They'll for sure patch all this stuff up. It just sucks that we're kind of like beta testing for them.
Yeah, that is very true.
That is the shitty part, and I think that there's a reaction to this right now. We're gonna look at the Metacritic scores here in a second and show you guys exactly the way people have reacted, because especially on Xbox One and on PlayStation 4, for a lot of people, it's kind of unplayable. Lethal, you're one of those people. Have you put any more time into it since we talked?
I'm over this game. I haven't touched it since then. I'm out. I don't like it. This game is not for me. It's unplayable, and even if it was, I just don't like it. Witcher 3 grabbed me, pulled me in. This just isn't doing it for me. I don't like Cyberpunk.
Wow.
I have no desire to go back to it.
But you like Avengers, Lethal.
I know, right? It's almost like I have my own opinion.
He's like one of the 6 people still playing it. Him, Eric, July, and like 7 other people make up every team in the game.
I'll get Lethal's back on here because I see people reacting to his unplayable comment. He's on a base level PS4, so he might actually be giving an accurate complaint saying it's unplayable.
Well,
Yes.
considering this is the score on PlayStation 4 on Metacritic right now. It's at 2.5. So Lethal is not alone. There are a lot of people that it is nearly unplayable for on PlayStation 4, and I think this is really kind of the bigger story. The fact that this game, there's people that are going to say, well, if you wanted it to look better, you should have it on PlayStation 5 or PC. The simple fact is they released this game on PlayStation 4. They marketed this game on PlayStation 4. When it was supposed to release in April, PlayStation 4 was the console. And right now, the vast majority of console players are playing it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One because simply PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are not very available. It is hard to get your hands on them.
Yeah, and even if they were easy to find, there wouldn't be that many of them out in the wild now. Like nothing compared to the numbers that PS4 and Xbox One would have.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like Ryan said, this it's not PlayStation 4 is still the current gen console. Like it is the current gen. I know we're into the next gen, but these systems are not widely available. And if you're going to launch the most anticipated game in the last decade on an install base that has over 100 million systems out there, it needs to work. Telling people that they should play on a PC, a high-end PC versus a PlayStation is ridiculous. A high-end PC is extremely expensive, and everyone can't afford that. And if they're going to release this on launch on a PlayStation 4, it needs to run on a PlayStation 4. It's not the same thing. Like, you're a crazy person. If there's a third-party game that's available on Switch and PlayStation 4, and you go buy it on the Switch and you complain because it's not playable, you're crazy. You're an idiot. Everybody knows that, but that's a comparable platform.
At the same time, saying to that person, well, just go buy a PlayStation 4, they might be like, well, I have a Nintendo Switch.
No. Like, what I'm saying is but my point is if you have the ability to buy it on both, if you purchase it on the Switch and you're complaining about it, that's a comparable thing because these things are affordable. A high-end gaming PC is thousands and thousands of dollars, and they have released this. Yeah,
you don't necessarily need a high-end one to play this game better than the consoles are running it, though. Like X-Ray Girl's computer is running it pretty well, and hers is like significantly less powerful than mine. No, not even close. It's like 3 years old, first of all. So like,
yeah, and I see some people saying, well, "There's no way it works fine on my PlayStation 4." Those are
the people who are like, oh, 30 frames a second's a good frame rate. I'm like, no, it's not.
Well. There's a lot of backlash. The reason these scores are the way they are, we've talked about Metacritic, right? Metacritic is an indication of how people feel about the game. The people who are playing on PlayStation 4 feel very shitty about this game in a lot of ways because of the problems they're having. There's a ton of crashes for a lot of PlayStation players, hard crashes where you have to reset your PS4 completely. And I feel for those people that maybe pre-ordered this game in fucking, I don't know, December, January, expecting it to be released in April on their PlayStation 4, are now coming around to find out in December that this game, for a lot of people, doesn't work on PlayStation 4 almost at all. And I think everything that went into this, the fact that CD Projekt Red didn't allow people to review it, to play it on anything other than PC, the fact that they didn't allow anyone to use their footage because even on PC, there's a lot of bugs and glitches they did not want people to use and expose. I think the whole thing has lost CD Projekt Red some credibility. And I've been kind of talking about this for months. Once we kind of saw the lead up, when they decided to start doing the mandatory overtime, all of these things made me feel like this game was not going to be ready. There's going to be a shit ton of problems. And sure enough, there is.
CDPR lied, people died. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. That's an inside joke with all of us. Look at Mark. Mark's ready to fire away.
Well, I mean, like I'm probably the person that'll go to bat for CD Projekt more than.
Hang on, Tars. I'm going to turn Tars' honesty up to 100%. Go for it, Mark.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm probably the person that out of the 5 of us will probably shill for CDPR like the strongest, because I primarily use their storefront to buy PC games, GOG, because I think that they, in general, they are a very consumer friendly company. I think right now though, there's probably 2 CD projects happening. There's like the group of people that are the more grassroots, like PC gamer, let's be the best company in the world and give people free upgrades and all sorts of free DLC content and stuff. And then there's the people that are probably saying, no, we need this game out by the end of 2020. Otherwise, our shareholders are going to have a fit. I don't care if it's not ready. Push it out. No, we'll just delay it another month. Then it's coming out. Like there's got to be people that are pushing for that, with the more creative developer side being like, no, we need more time. And so I kind of feel sorry for those guys and think that the people pushing probably don't understand the company they're even working for, because I think the reason most people love CD Projekt is because of how very consumer friendly they are. And whoever drafted up the embargo and the restrictions for like the reviewers and stuff, that was a crazy move. It was absolutely nuts for them to do that. And that the better thing would have been to just have a straight up day one embargo for reviews. If you're going to do that, like just be like, no reviews out until the 10th.
The reason they did that is because they knew how this game was.
But the thing is, having it like, okay, you can put reviews up on the 8th, but they need to be all trailer footage.
Yeah, has anyone ever done that before? I've never seen that done before, as far as I know.
Happens a lot. It happened to Doom 2016.
You know what happened? You know what happened to Last of Us Part 2? They only allowed people to use footage from a sliver of the game to make sure that nobody got any of the spoilers, because they wanted you to think that Joel would be a big part of the game. So what happened?
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I don't like going to bat for Naughty Dog, especially these days, that I can at least see, be like, okay, we've got like a twist in our game, and we don't want the twist being spoiled for everybody.
Well, here the twist is it doesn't work on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that like if the way to be semi-scummy about that, but still somewhat reasonable, is just to say no pre-release reviews. The review embargo is day one, or just don't even give review copies to any outlet, especially if the game isn't ready. Like, I think there's look, regardless of your personal experience of the game, and I don't mean anybody here, just generally, whatever your experience of the game is, I think you have to step back and just, this is not a good launch. This is not a good launch. There's a lot of problems, widespread problems. And with all of the delays that they had with the game, and the fact is, you can't sit here and say people can't complain about playing on 8-year-old hardware when the game was originally supposed to be released specifically on that hardware. The original release date was set for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era. You can't, that's not an excuse that you can use, because it doesn't line up. Originally, this was supposed to release for these systems, along with PC, obviously. It's not a good release. I think it's pretty clear that it's primarily a PC game. There probably was even talks about just making it a PC exclusive timed, for the reason that isn't just like, oh, the PC company paid us money, but like, no, we can get the PC version working in a reasonable amount of time, but we need more time on the console versions. And even like the PC has problems. I actually have a little list of bugs that I've encountered, but none of them are experience ruining. At least, I mean, I could even read some of them if you'd like, but nothing compared to what the consoles are dealing with. Like, this game is a little rough, but ready to go on PC. But especially just going from Lethal's perspective, it seems like it's just like, no, like it flat out just does not work on consoles.
I watched Lethal's live stream. It crashed twice when he was playing it.
Yeah.
I wonder how it is on the PS.
Nudity. Why are all my streams getting taken down for nudity?
Well, you had your chick dick swinging around the whole time.
And you have giant tits.
It was glorious.
But it's like this, like, I always said the reason I thought CDPR was going to force this game out in December was because of their investors, because they needed it by the end of the year to get it out. Well, it hasn't had a very good impact on their stock. Look at this shit. So
I'm like debating buying some CDPR stock.
You probably should. But like, look at where it was when all the hype, like a lot of hype, December 4th, everyone's like, it's finally going to come out. Then we start to hear some things. Some people start to come up with, even on the PC, it does seem like it's a little buggy. Like, this game maybe isn't finished. Then it actually releases, and CDPR stock is down in a big way, 25% or so over the past couple days. I do think that will bounce back. It's the stock market after all, but it's an indication. Even though it's sold, it's breaking all kinds of records. It's selling a shit ton, yet that stock is still down. So it tells you kind of where people's heads are at.
Somebody's mentioned it.
The big sale number though was pre-order though is 8 million pre-orders, which is like a stupid amount. Like that's crazy. Granted, it's multi-console.
But they made a profit day one, didn't they?
Yeah, they've already recouped all of their production costs. So
I might try to run it on my PS4 Pro and see how it runs on there. I haven't yet, just to kind of get that perspective. I mean, I have a base model PS4. I have a PS4 Pro as well. Were we hearing it's worse on base PS4 or base Xbox One, or is it both?
I've heard Xbox One S is the worst one.
Really? Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Launch
Xbox One, I think it might even be worse, but I don't think there's a huge power differential between those two.
No,
I think it's just HDR compatibility and a 4K Blu-ray player.
I think it could run a little bit better, but they locked it to be in the same line as the launch Xbox One.
Oh God, that footage makes me sad.
It's bad.
This is PlayStation. This is what Lethal's dealing with.
Last night, I ran it on my my bedroom TV. That's like a 4K OLED with HDR on, and it just looks stupidly good. Like I was just walking around, and it was just like this is one of the most like unbelievable looking games I've ever seen. I can't capture HDR footage because it doesn't translate properly, so it looks all washed out and crappy.
Rewind that. Back that up.
That's pretty good.
But look, it looks so shitty.
It looks like a PS2 game.
It does. That's what I mean, right?
It looks
like
terrible.
Well, it's I think there was the old thing that people used to say about like Nintendo Wii ports. It's like the thing they do is just keep on turning stuff off until it runs. Not until it stops before it runs well. Just keep turning stuff off until it runs on this platform. It seems like that's what they did for the PS4 and Xbox One versions.
Yeah. This is a clip of young Ripa because his game just kept fucking crashing over and over again. He's playing it. You can see he's like, oh fuck, there we go again.
Just walking around too, and that's PS5. Looking at the interface, it looks.
Yeah, he's on PS5.
Yeah.
Damn. So his.
Look at this. Come on. This is the kind of shit that people are talking about, right? This is the kind of shit that people are talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like effectively, this game is right now a PC and a next-gen console exclusive. It's just like technically exists on the other platforms. I don't think you should get this game probably ever on PS4 and Xbox One. Like, I mean, maybe if they do some miracle work on it, and granted, they managed to get Witcher 3 running at least competently on Switch. So I imagine, given enough time, they'll probably be able to optimize this to the point that it's like playable. But I think it's pretty safe to say that like right now, what essentially is out is like the early access version of this game.
Have you played Witcher 3 on Switch?
No. I didn't.
Have you heard? I'm shocked.
I debated getting it because it has crossplay.
Does
so
it
I
play
could actually
well,
like
Flash?
fire up my.
Yeah, it plays fine. It's just, I mean, you're not getting don't expect it to look good, but if you want a portable, like it runs great. There's no it runs really. I was impressed that they were able to get it to run on the Switch. Okay. It's not beautiful, don't expect a visual powerhouse, but if you just want to, like, if you travel a lot and you really want to play The Witcher 3 again, I would say pick it up.
Or if you just want to fire up your PC save file on the Switch version and just hunt for like Witcher armor and stuff while you're like on the train, you can do that too because it has cross save, which is honestly one of the reasons I was debating getting it, but I was just like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to play Witcher 3 that much these days. And when I do, I'd like to just play it on my PC. But I think though that as more portable versions of like home platform games get Switch ports that add cross save, I think there'll be a lot of people that do like their side questing on Switch.
So I think like to bring us back, I think that the problems with this game is not so much the game as much as it's the performance of the game. So I think once this game is actually finished, I think that it will live up to the hype that has been surrounding it, but you can't ignore it when you have this much hype. And again, I can't remember a game having this much hype in a long time. Maybe the last GTA that came out, you know, maybe. I mean, obviously there's a lot of hyped games, but when you look at the fact, like, you can bring up individual games like, you know, console exclusives, you know, Breath of the Wild or God of War. Those are big time, but this is available on all platforms, and it's
a
huge
new game IP too.
Yeah, and so for it to not perform well in terms of the functionality of the game, the criticisms are going to come. There's a big, huge, passionate fan base for CDPR. I know firsthand. Ryan knows. We know how passionate they are, and they're very defensive of any criticisms. So it's, I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, see that I don't think that. I think at this point they're only
I'm talking about I'm saying the next month or two is still going to have a lot of people.
Cyberglitch 2077 was trending on Twitter today. There are a lot of people that are talking about this shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying this game is not like. This game is not going to be finished for several months, is all I'm saying. And people are buying it in such record numbers that's only going to increase the problems that are posted, like those videos that Ryan just showed. Those videos are going to continue to circulate because they're going viral.
I'll say this too. This game, I don't see how this game will ever run well on base play at PS4. Ever. Like, I don't think there's a path forward for them to fix.
It should have just came out on PS5 and Xbox Series X. People that wait for those versions, I think, are going to be the best ones off, because they'll get to experience the game like not broken, probably.
Yeah, and there's no release date set on those versions yet, so they have time. And I think that like I said, the two teams at CD Projekt, the business team and the creative team, the creative guys will be like, "Can you give us our fucking time for this one? Maybe." I think it'll maybe go a bit better if we really polish up these Xbox Series and PS5 versions and then put them out. And I think if they do, especially if like a DLC expansion comes out at that time, like a major one with like a whole new like story campaign, maybe not necessarily a super long one, maybe one that's like Hearts of Stone from Witcher 3. If they do that and include that within the price of the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions, they could probably just keep it at standard list price. And I think they'll do quite well. But that's why I don't really agree with it's going to get worse. I think things will be looking up from now on, because I think CD Projekt's going to be very hard at work fixing a lot of these problems. They are the kind of company that will do that. They're not just going to leave a game broken forever.
Yeah.
But I want to be very, very clear. If you're on a base level console, even if you're on a Pro or Series X, or not Series X, an Xbox One X, I do not recommend getting this game. I think I'm probably the person on here that likes it the most, and I do not think you should get it on a console unless you have a PS5 or Series X.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I mean, PS5, I've had a great experience with the game on PS5 up to this point. I'm not too far into it, but much better than I had on my Walmart, or I would say Dollar General PC that I have.
How old is your PC?
It's about 4 years old, but it was never.
Yeah, mine's about 3. It was pretty good for 3 years.
Yeah,
you know, mine when it. We should say this too. When it runs right, it looks fucking phenomenal on PC. Like Mark's been saying, it really does. I've had some issues. I've had some frame rate issues, even when I'm turning off. The ray tracing and everything, going below what it says my system can run, I'm still having some frame rate issues, which is a little bit frustrating. And there's a couple bugs, but it is what it is. What are you going to say, Mark?
Was I saying anything? I sent something in the private chat, but
oh, all right. I was looking at what you said in the private chat. I thought you wanted to bring it up. My bad.
Oh,
that was awesome.
I was like, wait, hold on. What is
not so cute?
Well, I was going to find my the clip that I saved yesterday and throw that in the thing if people want to watch it. This is what the game looks like for me. If you guys see that link,
we got to get a system malfunction on that one.
Go somewhere else to watch another video while we're fucking streaming.
Put it in a second window.
God, how many people do you think are watching this on fucking the phones and shit, Mark?
I don't know.
All right, let's get to some super chat too.
By the way, but this is the first week, but Krista Nova is backstage. She is playing the producer role, and she's keeping up with all of our timestamps. So if there's any stories you guys hear about, let her know in the chat, and she will link us to it if there's any breaking news stories.
There you go. Mikey Gussler for $10. People were upset over GTA Online trailer Game Awards, not only because it was the same trailer that released before, but because they think Rockstar's trolling fans over no single player DLC. I don't think they're trolling fans, but yeah, I think people are really tired of seeing GTA 5 shit that's just more online.
But they make so much money.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Really, you look at the player, like, look at how many people still watch GTA on Twitch.
It's still like up there, the top 5 every time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing where it said, like, on PlayStation 2, there was 3 different GTAs, but GTA 5 has been on 3 different consoles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And remember, was it PlayStation 5 where the first
supposed to be free? We're getting the PC version. Where is it?
the first PS5 game that was ever shown officially by Sony was Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, that was so funny. Mikey Gussler for $2. Ryan Lethal, hail Zack Snyder. Thank you, Mikey. We appreciate that. Geeky Pixie for $5. Hail Geeks and Gamers. Hail the chat. And fuck Naughty Dog. I'd probably support all the Geeks and Gamers. Hail special guest Yellow Flash. Hashtag I stand with Vic.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Pixie. We're going to talk about Neil Cuckman in a little bit, guys. Mike Hill for $10. Why was the guy sitting in a room and had the woman looking in through the window?
That was fucking weird, dude.
I called the X-ray girl over that. I was like, look, like she's like in the window, and you're like, what do you mean? And then she looked over and she's like, why are they doing that? I'm like, they're social distancing, fucking like A level right there, S tier.
It just looks so creepy, though.
Gotta
Won't
set
even
a
let
good
her in the
example.
I'm gonna see if I can find it really quick. Because
the whole Game Awards, as bad as it usually is, this year it was even fucking worse. Like there's no audience, like, so it's all like fake clapping and shit. Like the people aren't really there. It's all Zoom calls. Some people are pixelated. People are delayed.
Jeff Keighley's shoes.
They should have let that girl with the nice boobs host the whole thing.
This is somebody made a meme of it, but this was it right here. This was so awkward. Like
that's a good meme.
But like they're like accepting this award, and she's standing outside, and it was so weird. It didn't make any sense. Like,
are they at a hotel or something? Like,
I don't know what they were doing.
Like an apartment complex of some kind.
Why doesn't she have her mask on? What if somebody walks by?
Yeah, right. She's not thinking about that.
Fucking shame.
Oh my god. What this right here just puts it all in perspective of how ridiculous this shit is. Oh my god.
Raging Rhino for Aussie $3.99 game over sticker. Thank you very much, Raging Rhino. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Venom Snake for Aussie $2. Flash, did you see the Alex Jones Tim Pool?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing yesterday. It was amazing.
Is it worth watching all the way through?
Yes, anything with him on it is always worth it.
Dude, they had like 100. They had like over 100,000 watching again. Alex Jones is the.
I like it when he goes on these other shows because he talks about interesting stuff, like on his own platform, and all he ever talks about is Trump and politics.
Yeah,
dude. But then when he goes on Joe Rogan and Tim Pool, he talks about aliens and all kinds of stuff, and it's like, this is what I want to hear.
Dude, Alex Jones is fucking smart. Okay, that dude is like, he just remembers every fucking headline that he reads, and he references it word for word. He knows where the source is. And then they pull it up, and they're like, "What?" He goes, "Wait a minute," and then he just repeats it, and then they pull it up, and it's exactly what he repeated. It's insane, man.
He kept saying
fascinating.
He kept saying the whole night, "I'm a gorilla. Murder yourself."
he's hilarious to watch, and it's like it is true. He's got all this shit up in his head that he just fucking spits out at random times.
Yes.
Yotam Darkstar for $3 with a rock on super sticker. Thank you. Fluffy Panda for $5. It's good on Xbox One S. Maybe it's a non-rare Steam game, old-fashioned play yourself. Couldn't watch Alana's stream, too distracting with chat. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stream it again. I might do some like cruising around the city streaming it, but as far as the storyline, I'd really feel like I need to not stream it. I had a better experience.
Things like the racing side quests would be good for streaming.
Yeah,
it's flashy and there's not a lot of story to it.
Putin's Power Squat for €5. Really loving Cyberpunk. 15 hours in, couple crashes and slowdowns on PS4. Also, with the Lucasfilm Marvel content vomits, maybe 2 interesting titles. Yeah, Star Wars is alive and well, guys. Evidently, we're gonna have fucking 10 new things come out on Disney Plus.
COVID was the cure to the Star Wars fatigue that killed Solo.
I think we'll definitely towards the end of the show we'll probably talk some Star Wars with Flash, kind of get his thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think we'll have to. But for right now, we will get back to super chats, everybody. But something happened, like we talked about. We've been talking about the cringe game awards, the woke game awards, and who are these game awards decided by? Of course, it's the game's journalists. I talked about that. We all talked about that here on the stream when the Game Awards nominations came out, and I said, there's no fan voting. It's 10%. 10% of the vote is decided by the fans. The rest is decided by the same people who have been protecting Naughty Dog, who've been protecting Neil Druckmann all along, the game's journalists. And to no one's surprise, The Last of Us 2 took virtually everything it was nominated for, including Game of the Year. Now, Flash, I assume you watched this cringe fest with the rest of us. What were your thoughts like watching all this go down?
The first thing was like, why the fuck is this guy wearing these bright ass
shoes,
dark blue and white shoes with that dark suit? Did you not learn any kind of color coordination in your life? Like, what a horrible decision. Every time he steps out, they pan down to his shoes. I can't stop looking at him.
And like every time it was like a full body shot. It was never like got the shoes out of the picture.
Yeah, it was really distracting.
It was terrible. Like, what the hell are you doing?
That guy needs a gay friend.
Or at least a girlfriend or something too. Like,
he is Canadian. I assume he knows a lot of gay people.
Oh man.
But when it came down to it, and you see Brie Larson up there to present Abby with the performance of the year. And to be fair, Laura Bailey is a very well-respected voice actress. Mm-hmm. She does a shit ton of things, even in Lethal Lightning's favorite game, Marvel's Avengers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but to have one of the most unlikable people in the world present something to maybe the most unlikable character that we've had this year in video games, it's so fucking
glorious.
Glorious, sure, glorious. It's exactly what you would expect from the game's journalists. That's what this is. This is not for gamers, it's not for fans. This is for the game's journalists to circle jerk each other. That's basically what we had.
Games journalism has been completely compromised.
It's terrible.
It does not represent the industry in which it covers. The people that are involved in this industry do not have any idea what gamers are, who gamers are, or what they are interested in. And they view people that like we're in a time where fans are considered bad. They don't want people coming together in person. They don't want people having opinions. They don't want individual voices to be heard. It's all about controlling something in the way that they want it controlled. And the Game Awards is kind of just representative of the entire industry right now, where the fans are not important. The fans do not matter. And the industry that we continue to support hates our guts, and that is just par for the course right now in Hollywood and everything else.
They don't connect with anybody because it's the same thing with a lot of other stuff in media. All these assholes live in California or New York.
Yep.
All the little city, they all live in like LA or San Diego. San Francisco, I think, is where most, like IGN, aren't they in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these people are in these little like liberal cities. They don't connect with everybody in the country. and it's the same people that's in the rest of the media. It's like our way or the highway. And if you don't agree with us, you're an alt-right basement dwelling Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, look at something like, for instance, is someone that like Mark will always tell you his claim to fame is Colin Moriarty. Even though I have more subscribers than Colin, he still just wants to tell everybody, "Hey, I know Colin. Fuck Jeremy. I know
didn't
Colin."
Even talk about video games on his show. I just talked about my amputation.
I'm fucking with you.
Videos at the time.
I'm fucking with you. Anyway,
I just want to be clear to the audience.
But you look at someone like Colin Moriarty, who was a major player at IGN for all of those years, along with Greg Cuck Miller.
Greg Miller.
I know. I hate him.
He's
the worst. He's the worst.
Did you see that fallout between like when Colin got
absolutely
thrown under the bus?
Yeah,
that motherfucker turned his back on him.
I used
to listen to their show.
I did
back
too.
In the day, and like I remember when Greg Miller had cancer, like that dude was like picking up all of Greg Miller's slack. And then this dude gets thrown under the bus by the media, and Greg Miller just sits there and jacks off in a closet.
Yes,
he's a piece
absolutely.
of shit. That dude is a scumbag, no loyalty whatsoever, pile of trash.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the entire point that I was going to make here is how Colin, was in that world, but he always had a little he was far more outspoken than anyone else in terms of his beliefs and his politics. And one fucking joke on International Women's Day? Is that what it was? Yeah, International Women's Day. And all he said was, peace and quiet. Hashtag International Women's Day. That's all he fucking said. Okay.
That's pretty funny.
Hashtag a day without a woman.
Oh, a day without a woman's what it was. Okay. Yeah. A day without a woman. So, yeah.
Somebody in the chat says that Colin still calls Greg his friend. Are you sure? Because last time I checked, they don't follow each other on Twitter anymore.
I'm sure they're probably playing up. Like
they've just parted ways, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, look, Colin's smart guy.
Kind of funny's basically just become like a
bunch of clowns.
The other day, it's basically just a bunch of people who used to be at IGN, then left, and then got together, and then are kind of
new IGN now.
Yeah, exactly.
Independent IGN now.
And that is where we are in the industry, where someone like Colin, who was in that industry and a pretty well-known person in that industry working for, IGN, and because he made one joke that is not even remotely close to half the shit that we say on air.
It's an Al Bundy joke. It's like a Married with Children joke
and
at the absolute
and the
worst.
industry
this means we'll never
alive.
work at IGN, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. I know. So pathetic. But that's the industry. And that's what it's made up of. And you see you see what happened. You see whose career. So Colin's career, had to go completely full independent, whereas Greg Miller, who walks the line and stays with the talking points and hates gamers and hates fans and hates everybody's opinions and sucks up to all the right things, gets all of the perks in the industry. That is the industry right there. It's made up of people that do not like games, do not like fans, and do not want fans to have a voice.
Did you see what Tim Miller said? The other guy from Kind of Funny? Tim Geddes? Yeah, did you see what he said during the whole meltdown with Trump and Biden stuff, where some guy's like, I'm going to vote Trump, but can I still be your fan? Is basically what he said. And Tim's like, nope.
I tweeted at him. He's like, "Hey, I'm a Trump supporter, but I really like your content. And I just want to know, do you not want me to be your fan?" He's like, "Nope."
Wow.
And this is a company that depends on Patreon and donations, and they sure as hell ain't making it from YouTube revenue.
Well, and you can see you can see clearly why they're doing this, why they're acting like this, because then you see Greg Miller, happens to have one of the first exclusive interviews with Neil Cuckman and Joel, right?
Yep.
These people on there, right as the game is releasing to help promote it. Why? Because he said it was a fucking masterpiece, because he said it was a 10 out of 10 and he promoted it that way. Then when you do that, you get these people on your stream. You play the fucking game. You lose everyone's actual respect, but you get these big streams that pull a lot of people in to see what they have to say. It's disgusting, but that is what games journalism is. Even the people who aren't in the mainstream anymore, who have broken off to try to be independent, are the same fucking way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like, so when Game Mill Entertainment reached out to us after we criticized that G.I. Joe movie, I'm sorry, the G.I. Joe video game, when they reached out to us, that was a big moment. And, I'm glad that they continue to have conversations with us, because it's so rare these days. If you criticize any of these companies, they are not interested in that. So when you find these types of companies, we want to support them. And again, that G.I. Joe game is not good. But when you have a company and a developer and a CEO that directly reaches out to someone like me after I'm highly critical of it, that is such an anomaly right now in the industry. The industry is about saying what you like, giving the right talking points, giving the right favorable review, and then getting the access based on your right opinion. And it's disgusting.
Kind of what the Game Awards sort of is, to kind of like tie it back to the topic. It's just a bunch of people in the industry patting themselves on the back and telling each other how great they are. And I mean, which is kind of all award shows ultimately. And I honestly did remember the Game Awards at least starting out as being much more like fan voted. I didn't realize that now they were doing it, like, I think Ryan actually was the one that pointed it out to me, that they're doing the 90-10. So essentially, like, the fan vote that
is
people,
worthless.
it's just a tiebreaker. Like, that's really all it is. So if you've got 10 people in a room and 7 of them think The Last of Us is the best game of the year, like, even if like 2 million fans are saying, no, Ghost of Tsushima was, it's not going to matter at all. They're like, no, you don't understand. You just don't get it. Revenge was bad the entire time. Okay, it's so deep.
You guys remember when they were calling Ghost of Tsushima racist because of the way it represented the Mongols?
Yeah, even though it's funny, they're like, oh, it's so offensive to Japanese culture, and then the Japanese people are like, we fucking love this game.
Yeah.
and then they switch it to, well, then it's offensive against the Mongols, the people that invaded them. How dare they depict them like that?
What about
they should have had all the Mongols be played by white guys?
What about when the developers of the Yakuza games came out and said, like, yeah, this game's phenomenal. They made a better Japanese game than we did.
Hey, he just said the main character was ugly. That was funny.
But
I probably would have designed a better face for him, but overall, I like the game.
Well,
that's what the actor looks like, though, doesn't it?
The Game Awards.
I just thought it was funny.
The Game Awards are truly trash, and the industry has been completely compromised. And look, that's why we need to continue to support people, that are creating their own stuff, like we are, like Yellow Flash channel's killing it. We all have things that we're working on and building different platforms. And this is why, if you want to see a shift in the industry, it's going to take time. It's going to take the fans' voices, supporting where they actually can be heard. And, look, everybody knows, and I covered this on the video earlier that I made about what happened on Twitter. And mainly I just wanted a reason to make more clickbait with Last of Us Part 2. Let's just be honest. I don't really have any morals when it comes to that. But the point is we have an official review on geeksandgamers.com, and I do not agree with that review at all. But I fully support Mike's right to have that review and to have that opinion, because that is what it's all about, is individuality and being able to have your opinion and not be chastised for that opinion. I don't give a fuck if anybody agrees with Mike's opinion. That is the official review for geeksandgamers.com for The Last of Us Part 2. I don't care if you agree with it. I care that he has the right to have that opinion. And if we're going to sit there and trash this industry for what, is it Tim Geddes? Is that how you said that to the Trump supporter? Yeah, and that's their mentality right there. They do not believe that you should support them, and they don't want your support if you have a different political opinion than them. That's how corrupt this fucking industry is. These motherfuckers are insane, and they truly hate people like me. Yes, I am a proud Donald Trump supporter. If you're not, that's totally fine. If you are a Biden voter, you can support this channel. You can support this brand. That's fine with me. Just like we have Biden people on the fucking team. That's something Kind of Funny can never say. Kind of Funny is not interested in opinions. They're interested in their echo chamber, and that represents the entire fucked up industry. And that's why you have the Game Awards, and it's garbage. This entire industry is fucked.
The way they look at it is just completely fucking retarded. Like, there's no better word for it. It's pure retardation. Like, I cannot even start to process the idea of over here in Australia of judging someone based who they vote on. Like, to me, that's just such a crazy foreign concept.
Yeah,
we don't want your money. We don't want you as a customer. I don't want you as a fan because you voted for someone that I didn't. Like, I can't even begin to process that. To me, that's just one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, I can't even go into a private chat that we have and just mention that Nintendo Switch did good this month without Mark and Uche losing their fucking minds and just going after me and trashing me. Even Ryan, Ryan had my back. Even Ryan had my back. You know it's bad.
How the
Ryan had my back.
Why do you hate Nintendo Switch?
I don't hate Nintendo. Here, he shared. Yeah, I'll get the citation for it just so I don't misquote it. But his commentary was, didn't see this coming. That was it. That's all Jeremy said.
That's all I said.
No, but
highest voice cut.
And what I'm saying is that is all you said, which means that the bulk of your statement was the headline that you shared. Would that be incorrect of me to assume? If someone,
first of all, give context to I shared a
screenshot. It's this thing that came up here, and it says it's from Push Square, and it says November 2020 NPD charts. PS5 sets new US hardware launch record, but can't beat Nintendo Switch. So I'm like, okay, well, that figure essentially means nothing because PS5 doesn't have enough units for its demand. So, like, what's that saying? That just says that there were more Nintendo Switches on the shelf that month. And Jeremy's like, well, like, that doesn't change my point. I was like, what's your point? I didn't understand what you were even trying to say.
To be fair, I said the same applies for Nintendo Switch because you really can't find them either.
Yeah, they're kind of sold out everywhere, too.
Okay, but that just means that there were more Nintendo Switches produced. If they're both hitting 100% of their supply, that says nothing at all about demand.
But all I said was didn't see that coming. All I said was didn't see that coming.
What does that mean?
It means that we all it means that everyone expected that the Switch would lose its 2-year reign in the month of November because of the PS5 launch, and the fact that
I don't think anyone expected that there would be more PS5s out in the market than Nintendo Switches.
I think it's impressive that the PS5 broke the console launch record, yet still this late into its run, the Switch still sold more than the PlayStation while the PlayStation broke the console record. I think that's impressive for both parties.
I don't think it means anything. I think it just means that they're both in high demand for Christmas and there were more Nintendo Switches produced. That's all that means.
I mean, possibly, but I didn't say anything specifically one way or the other.
All right, at the end of the day, I'm fucking done with it. So at the end of the day, it is impressive that Nintendo Switch has continued selling at the rate it has. However, I think we can all be real and say that if PlayStation 5 had been available in
I would think so.
quantities, PlayStation 5 would have sold more this month.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
But fuck Mark and Uche for attack.
I don't know. Maybe with that PlayStation 5 line though. I mean, I really do think they're doing some artificial supply and demand right now for both of these consoles in a way.
That's possible, but what I mean is there's not the data to support any like hard claims. It's just like, well, they're both sold out everywhere. That's pretty much all that is.
Yeah,
it's like if they're both meeting, if their supply is both being 100% met by demand, then that's kind of it. Like there's not really much more that you can analyze from that data. The only time you can really say that one console is selling better than the others is if they're both totally easy to find and that anyone that walks into a Best Buy can say, okay, am I getting the PS5, the Series X, or the Nintendo Switch? If more people are walking out with the Switch, I think you can safely say that is a better selling console in that month. But
I think the only thing we can say is the Xbox sucks. So
I mean, it's sold out everywhere too. That's what I mean. Like same deal. Like the only way that you can glean that PS5's in higher demand than Series X is scalper prices. That's pretty much it.
Oh,
there actually is a bit of
go on eBay and get one for like $1,500, man. It's a total scam. Or you can buy
if you spend $1,000 on either the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, you're a fucking moron.
That is true.
What if you have to because you live in Australia, whereas money doesn't have any value?
That is true. Too.
$1,500 Australian dollars is like $60.
All right. Well, Mark and I
whole conversation real quick.
What?
Sorry?
I can end this whole conversation real quick.
Do it.
We don't tear down our own cities.
But you put shrimp on grills.
First of all,
to be fair, and barbecued shrimp's really good.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Oh, hi. I'm American. Man. I love cheeseburgers and complain about tax.
You guys not have taxes there?
We don't bitch about it like you motherfuckers do.
You just fucking bend over and take it. Got it.
We pay less tax than you, and we get probably better fucking refunds.
They did when they took all their guns.
Yeah, you guys gave up your guns real quick.
We don't need guns like you do.
One little mass shooting, you just turn your guns in.
Mate,
Speaking of video games,
guy that was in the city causing a muck, and he got taken out with a milk crate. We don't need guns. Milk crates will fuck you up.
All right. But yeah, speaking of video games, back to kind of wrap up this whole thing. It's very, very clear that there has been a disconnect between games journalists and the people, and that only continues to grow wider. We saw what happened with Quartering when these people in the mainstream games journalists, he criticized one fucking review, and they all tried to get him deplatformed. Literally tried to false flag him, pulled a mundane Matt, tried to false flag him and get him taken down off of YouTube simply for criticizing one person because it was a woman, and they went after him. Because
it backfired big time. He got like probably 40,000 subscribers out of that. 40,000 subscribers, I think he got out of that.
There were valid objective criticisms to that review too that had nothing at all to do with her being a woman.
She skipped all the side quests, and like you were saying earlier, that's the best part of the game.
I think like Vito's little video on it was hilarious because he just flat out said, he's like, yeah, okay, I guess even if you do that, you're trying to get through the game quick for your review, just don't say it. Like, don't tell people that you did that. Which, like, I mean, there's some value to even that perspective. It's like, okay, if you are gonna like just rush through a game because you've got like say 3 days to finish the game and get a review out, that sucks. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that position. Is why I like that Jeremy doesn't set hard deadlines for me, because I actually have time to put in the due diligence and play the game. Right. But if you do that, maybe don't be on the podcast being like, yeah, I didn't try this. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do this. I didn't want to do this because then I'd be helping the cops. It's like, well,
there's something I wanted to do. The cops needed help. I didn't really feel like doing that.
Yeah, so I didn't engage in any of the world events. And granted, I have, and it's really just you fight some criminals and that's it. The cops don't even talk to you afterwards. So there's something to criticize there. Like you could actually say the world events are sort of useless, but if you didn't try any of them, you can't really criticize them.
Have you also noticed that like you don't really run into, so you have cops like at the crime scenes, but you don't really you don't pass any cops. Like there's no one like driving around until you commit a crime. Then they just kind of appear.
And it's almost to the point that they should almost make it so that you don't get warrants out for your arrests or commit crimes, because they are gone so fast. Like if you drive 2 blocks down the road, the cops forget who you are.
Yeah, it's really there's stuff to criticize about this game, and there's a lot of good to it. There's a lot of shit built into it's so deep, but at the same time, when you get criticized for not doing that, your fucking job is to play this game. Yeah. She obviously didn't do it to the extent that you would expect from a review like that. And calling that out gets the entire mainstream on your ass, calling for you to be deplatformed. These people are disgusting.
It's all about like just put in the due diligence, like make it so that you actually know what you're talking about in the review that you're writing. Because even if you just kind of dabble with the system and don't really dive into it very much, it's hard for you to make any criticism other than that this system wasn't very engaging. Which you can say and then be like, yeah, I didn't really want to put too much time into it because honestly, I thought it sucked. Maybe there's value to it if I spent like 20 hours into it. But it's the thing with an RPG, there's all sorts of skill trees you can go down. So I haven't done like a whole bunch of stealth and hacking, but because I haven't wanted to put a lot of my skill points down to those trees. So I'm making more of a fighter build, like a guy who does a lot of shooting, does a little bit of hacking sometimes, and does some technical stuff. But I don't really have a great sense of the hacking. So I'm not going to go in and be like, yeah, I will go up to computer monitors and like, you can't do any hacking. So the hacking sucks. It's like, well, no, I just, my skill tree just didn't allow me to hack some of the more complicated systems. That's it. Like, you got to know what you're talking about though. You can't just be like, I didn't try that.
Yeah. I only crafted one thing.
I will say though, Ryan brought up something earlier, and I got to call him out on it. You talked about Jarbo, and look, Matt made a mistake, everybody, and we should not hold him responsible for his mistake. He made a mistake. He accidentally false flagged a lot of videos, and he accidentally lied about it for several hours before being exposed. It was a mistake, and we need to quit bringing that up. It was just a mistake.
Listen, guys, he was in a bad headspace.
He was in a bad headspace, and it just.
Wait, it's funny. Who did he retweet the other day?
Fuck Mahler, or he didn't. He responded to Mahler.
EFAP,
yeah, he responded to EFAP or what? Yeah,
no,
well,
I think someone said like, yeah, he's right wing. He's been on EFAP, and then like, I think he just said, I'm not right wing. I've never been on EFAP, and also fuck EFAP. It's like you had to have that little
going
jab
after them now too. Huh?
Like,
yeah.
Well, it was the other day he retweeted Pokimane when she was like, I've been in a bad headspace.
That was
and he's
funny.
like, trust me, that's not a good excuse or something.
Yeah,
and I would
kind
say
of funny.
that's the funniest thing Mundane Matt has done since Polly the Polar Bear. So congrats to Mundane Matt. But let's get back to some of these super chats here, guys. Thank you guys so much. We are going to get through all of them. Mr. Gentleman for $5. Hey kids, it's Polly the Polar Bear. Jesus, Gentleman for $5. I put over 100 hours in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Absolute game of the year for me. But despite the love many have for it, so few in the Western media are talking about it. Mark, did you play Like a Dragon?
I'm on chapter 3 of it right now, and it is really good. Very, very, very well written. They get you like loving the new main character. This is the 7th mainline Yakuza game, and they get you just loving the main character as a person within like 5 minutes of meeting him. And it's just you kind of do this little side quest where you're doing collections like for the Yakuza, kind of shaking people down for money that they owe. And there's this thing where like you beat up this guy and then just dump the money out of his wallet and take the wallet because your boss asked for the wallet. And he's like, why are you doing that? And basically he goes into this whole story about how the guy's like mother's sick and that he's just trying to like make a living and that like he's just such a likable guy. And they do a really, really good job with the writing in it. The turn-based combat takes a bit to get used to, but it works quite well too. I recommend Yakuza Like a Dragon quite a bit. It's very good from what I've played.
There you go. Axel the Bounty Hunter for $5. Cyberpunk runs pretty good on my budget gaming PC on medium settings. Nice. Yeah, like when it looks good, it looks fucking phenomenal. Thank you, Axel. Pauly D for €5.49. Yellow Flash in the house. Have any of you guys have any interest now or previously in comics? Any favorite characters or stories?
I'm still reading some comics, so I think actually if you're a longtime Spider-Man fan, the Last Remain story going on is really good because they're actually addressing One More Day. So that storyline has been particularly good. And then I always like to recommend the Power Ranger comics, which are really good too.
I've heard a lot of people do like the Power Ranger ones.
Oh, they're really good. If you're an old fan of the show, it's solid.
Yeah, I mean, I read comics a lot back in the day. I haven't read comics in a while. I think the last one I was really into comics was like Nightfall and, you know, The Death of Superman and Funeral for a Friend, all that. I read Image comics back in the day, but never really, I haven't been into comics for a long time.
I still have a weekly pull list.
Is it shrunk down a lot?
Oh fuck yeah!
Mine is too. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna be getting Detective Comics when Fat Starfire takes over?
No, she's not Starfire. That's the joke.
No. Oh,
but
they have a guy that hates Hal Jordan writing Green Lantern too.
I saw that shit. My God,
that was fucking bad, man. That was really, really bad.
It's I don't. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with DZ. I think that they're on their last year with Warner Brothers if they don't pick something up. So we'll see.
For me, I've been slowly making my way through Berserk. I'm on volume 31 of 40 that are out so far, and I'm trying to pump the brakes on it and not blow through it too fast because I don't want to have to wait too long for the next one in a hiatus. I really hope Miura ends up finishing it at some point. The last time I was reading like Big 2 was probably the Batman Endgame arc, like with Joker, where it was good zombie situation. Yeah, it's not too bad. I liked it. I kind of didn't want to pick up the next arc for some reason. And I did read recently the Cyberpunk trauma team comics that were actually pretty solid. There's only 3 issues out so far, but if you're looking for some kind of more world building around Cyberpunk and want to learn about the cyborg medics, which are kind of like what I actually am in real life, then it's a solid book.
There you go. Geeky Pixie for $2. I just wish there were more customization choices. I will say this. I'm pretty disappointed. Like the fact that your character, you can only create he can only be one size. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I do feel like it is very narrow, the choices that you can customize the length of your fucking cock, but you can't decide whether you guys are skinny. You know, it is.
I think-
there's
I
no
think that
vagina of it
Two models
though,
too.
either.
There's Penis and Penis 2, the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought no
I thought
vagina diversity.
Yeah, only one vagina
Only
though.
one. There are different looking vaginas.
Yeah, I think I actually think the character customization is not that great. It's you know, like yeah, you're made to think it's great because you can put your penis and you adjust your penis size, so it'll be like, oh wow, that's great. But once you really kind of think about it, it's really not that in depth.
No, it's not. And the thing is, you barely ever see your character anyway, really.
Hey, right. I ride motorcycles a lot, so I actually do see my guy like
That's
fairly
true.
frequently. But
Yeah.
I honestly think though the move probably should have just been male Geralt, male V, female V, and just have it be the two default models. And it's just you pick kind of like Valhalla, Assassin's Creed. They do that, right? You don't like customize your character.
It's not
just
very
like-
inclusive of you, Mark.
well.
That's
Okay,
GDPR really wanted to make sure they included trans.
female V, but throw a dick on her if you want. Sure.
I did.
That's what it all comes down
that's
to.
exactly what Lethal
Yeah,
did.
I made a female body type and put a dick on her, and then I gave her the masculine voice, and I put dreadlocks on the character just for extra cultural appropriation.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
I made a tweet about this. I tried to make kind of like an abstracted version of myself, but I think I accidentally made Jared Leto. Like my V looks almost exactly like Jared Leto, and I'm like, oh man, I fucked that up.
Well, you always reminded me of Jared Leto, to be fair.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do have about as much personality as Jared Leto's
We
Joker.
both have big eyes.
so.
That's the thing. It's the eyes that do it, and the character select.
Can you get a damaged tattooed?
I've got
on
one. That's
you?
why I wear the toque.
Okay.
Mark would just say buffering. That's what Mark should say. Wheezy Bird for $2. Have you seen Eric July's Twitter reactions? Yeah, Young Rip is having a lot of problems with Cyberpunk 2077. He's not afraid to talk about it.
We'll try to get Ripa on here. We gonna have a lot of guests. Yellow Flash is our first, official, guest,
Real
big time guest.
guest.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to shift every week to have guests on. But we felt like Yellow Flash is the one that's going to start that whole trend. So if it works out, Flash, you'll be a legend. If it fails, then fucking blame you.
Right now, Anomaly's doing the Arthur fist.
All right. Glenzer for $2. Cyberpunk may be going to Switch.
We love Anomaly.
We do. Anomaly came on when we were back on the other channel. So
So we're talking about consistency. We've had guests on in the past, but we felt like this would be the first one, and then hopefully we're going to have a guest every single week to kind of continue to build this show up, because it's growing every week. We thank you all for the support. We really do appreciate it. So we've had another record week here. So good stuff. Geeks Gamers channel ain't dead yet.
Glenzer channel for Glenzer for $2. Cyberpunk may be going to Switch.
No way.
I haven't heard anything about that, but
if they release a Switch Pro, it still probably would have a hard time running Cyberpunk.
I personally want it to happen just because it'd be funny. So
well, I mean, I don't know, if they shoot for 540p resolution like they did for Witcher, maybe it'll
imagine just a big swinging dick hanging out on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, just being on the subway and getting to
they wouldn't censor it either.
They would, and they wouldn't censor it.
Nintendo's been more uncensored than Sony.
Yeah, Nintendo's actually pretty good, especially when it comes to anime games, visual novels where you can have sex with people.
There you go. Loves to Grind for $5. Played on PS4 Pro. It runs fine, but has visual glitches, and one bug launched me into a room where I was sneaking into all the enemies NPCs saw and killed me. There's definitely I would recommend, if anyone is thinking about getting this game, if anyone's thinking about getting this game on your PlayStation 4 or PS4 Pro, go watch Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry has done some good breakdowns of what you can expect from these games on consoles and the comparisons. So for sure. Geeky Pixie for $2. My base PS4 works fine for the most part on my end. Thank you, Geeky Pixie. Taker 610 for $2. More broken, Mass Effect Andromeda or Cyberpunk 2077?
In my experience, Mass Effect Andromeda, but I'm also playing Cyberpunk on like a good PC. So
I couldn't get past the gay Krogan in Andromeda because it was so terrible. Do you remember that? You wake up and it's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "What is this?" And I don't have a problem.
That's the future of BioWare.
It didn't sound like a Krogan at all. Like I'm used to these like Klingon inspired sounding,
loud, like Worf. Yeah, I was about to say like all the Klingons sound like all the.
I walk right into the shit. Hey y'all, like what is this?
Well, man. I mean, the good news is the Game Awards have had announcements for new Dragon Age and Mass Effect games. So BioWare's back, everybody. I'm sure they're going to nail both of them.
A week after the people in charge of those games just fucking picked up and left, said we're fucking leaving BioWare.
Oh, but CGI trailer, so it's official. They're happening, and they're going to be incredible. 10 out of 10. Game of the year 2022.
Mark hates.
He was a very feminine Krogan. People are saying in the chat that Krogans can't lean that way, and it's fine. But I'm saying he's very feminine, very very super feminine Krogan, and it just turned me off to the game.
He was born that way. You can't help it.
There was nothing about Andromeda I liked. I played it for probably about 3-4 hours and was just like, this sucks. Like, I didn't like the combat. I didn't like the dialogue system. My character looked like he had like a rod shoved up his ass while he was running around. It was just the weirdest running animation I've ever seen in a video game.
Mark, you don't know much about running, so you can't really judge that kind of thing.
I had 2 legs for a very long time, Ryan. And also I have a cool running leg, like carbon fiber thing. That's awesome. But,
can we see it?
X-Ray Girl, can you go get my running leg?
Hell yeah, make the woman do it.
He literally just asked X-Ray Girl to go grab his third leg, just so everyone understands. All right, Mikey Guzzler for $5. I've been playing Cyberpunk on base PS4. I'm not experiencing any game-breaking bugs, just typical once in a while.
Extra Girl's doing work. She won't do it.
Thank you, Mikey.
I think it's in my car anyways.
Colton Brewer for $5 says, "What the fuck is that?" And then I don't know what that's about, Colton. Is that about the Game Awards? Or it might be about all the glitches, probably. Or it's the woman that was standing outside. Either way, it's fucking cringe.
I think it was that, actually. That makes sense.
Probably. Bweezy Bird for $2. Neil Druckmann's wins got BTFO'd by Sephiroth. Is anyone excited to play Smash with Sephiroth?
Yeah, another sword guy. Awesome.
His sword
playing it a long time ago.
There were some demands for another character for Smash during the Game Awards. We can't discuss that here. Ryan knows
that's true. Yeah. In honor of someone from Minnesota, they really wanted to add a character to Smash.
The bigger announcement though is that we're getting Sarge, Griff, and Master Chief in Fortnite. That's the one Drunk was pumped about. And wasn't the thing, like, honestly wanted to die while I was watching that segment.
There were people that were like, you realize that, like, most of the people that play Fortnite, that Halo's, like, older than them. Yeah. Like, the Halo franchise is older than most of the people playing.
I want Kratos. I want Kratos for Smash. So.
Not Smash, sorry.
No, fuck that game.
You're talking about Fortnite.
Oh, no. I was talking about, fuck that game, too. But I was PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale or whatever it's called. What is it called? Is that it?
PlayStation All-Star.
Yeah.
That was a bad game.
Yeah, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah, that was a bad game. Very bad game.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right.
I don't need any characters for Smash because I don't really fucking play it, and it's impossible to play online. So just because Nintendo's network fucking is trash.
Yeah, it's not the only thing. Your friends is the way to play.
It's
Smash.
Not the only thing Nintendo's trash lately. Holy shit. I covered it on the channel, but oh my god, man, they're out of control. Like I even saw a meme God, let me see. You got to keep reading this. I'm gonna look for the Smash meme that somebody.
Didn't they shut down a tournament where the prize was like a $25 gift card?
Dude, they shut
it down. $25. You can't give away $25.
It was a fucking Smash Melee tournament that normally is in person, but clearly you can't do any fucking thing in person. So they created a fucking mod so they could play it online, and Nintendo sends a cease and desist out. It's so fucking insane. And not only that, but they did so many other stupid things too. It's just they're out of their fucking mind
with like stuff like that. They've slowly, like, remember a couple of years ago they had the Nintendo partner program for if you want to, and they finally got rid of that bad decision, but they're still behind on some stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
They should have just been. They should have just turned a blind eye to it.
Let's see.
Yeah. So next super chat here, Geeky Pixie for $5. We care about women's rights, so why is she outside? Well, reason. Give her a damn vote, at least. Yeah. Thank you, Pixie. Remington for Canadian $5. Lol, here's something to show my solidarity with Mark for all the shit he takes. Cheers from Saskatchewan, bro.
Hey, Prairie Boy. How's it going? But yes, thank you. I appreciate the support. I get so little of it.
Evan Villalobos for $5. Last of Us 2 deserved every single award. I will defend it to the grave with all caps. You know, ironically, Neil Druckmann said if you vote for Last of Us 2, people lose their caps lock, but evidently not for you. We do appreciate the super chat, though.
Absolutely.
Only the haters. Bad things will happen to the haters and only the haters. And if you don't like the game, you don't have any actual criticism, you're just a hater. That's how
they do. There is a new Smash character that they're going to be revealing soon, right here.
Right. Sharing his stream soon.
That is fucking funny right there. That is good stuff. But that's kind of where Nintendo's at right now, dude. They are so fucking stupid. It's painful. And you know when I'm calling them out and I'm frustrated with it, it's bad.
It's really bad. Lisa, what are you sharing?
Oh, the latest announcement for the new Spider-Man movie.
They really bring everybody into Spider-Man 3, aren't they?
Shit, dude. Spider-Verse gonna be lit.
Oh man, that was good.
That movie, they're announcing so many characters for it. I really wonder if it's gonna be, because we all remember the original Spider-Man 3 cramming so much stuff into it.
Yep.
I mean, the obvious answer is to cram more.
This is Spider-Man 3 is going to be like The Mandalorian, where it's just like, hey, every fucking character possible to please overshadow our lame-ass main character. That's basically what Spider-Man's going to be. We're going to get into Star Wars in a little bit here, guys.
I actually think Tom Holland's the best part of those movies. I think everything around him is what sucks.
I don't think he's a bad. I don't think he's a bad Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I like Toby better though.
Toby is the GOAT. Toby's the GOAT Spider-Man. And that's just a fact. And I'm not here to hear anything other than my opinion repeated back to me. And if you disagree, you are toxic and you're a fucking man baby. So no, but I think
we'll be happy that Andrew's there too.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Toby's great. I think Tom Holland does make a good Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I just think every fucking thing around him is fucking utter garbage. But I like him.
I don't know. I like Homecoming a lot. I did not like Far From Home, though. I thought Far From Home was terrible.
I think that in a bubble, if they had made these, if it wasn't in the MCU and they weren't trying to make him fucking Iron Man's little boy, like if they had made it separately, I think that Tom Holland, like I think I could have really fucking liked Tom Holland. But unfortunately, it's hard to like separate him from like the role they have him playing in these.
I think the only way to do Spider-Man in the MCU organically and have it not be like an altered Spider-Man and have it be like the true one is if they were starting, like if in phase 1 there were Spider-Man movies also, that's how that would have worked. But I think having him come in and like, what was it, phase 3? Civil War was phase 3, right?
All that comes down to copyright stuff. Had to get that deal with Sony.
Yeah, I know. It's just I think the spot they were in. I think with Civil War and Homecoming, I think they did really, really well. I think though that they're really losing the plot with Far From Home though. Far From Home, it seemed like they kind of put the pedal on the metal and made him more Iron Man Jr. They were like, well, now Iron Man's out of the picture. Let's make him like the new Iron Man. It's like, well, why? Why is Happy Hogan Spider-Man's sidekick now?
Yeah, that's true. Chris Arcella for $10. Hey, all in panel. Jeremy Ryan, Lethal Mark, and Yellow Flash. Great to see you all. The only good thing about the Game Award was the reveal of the next DLC Smash character, Sephiroth, which we talked about. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Nerd Cookies is here for $5. I finally got a Switch, but I only play YouTube on it. I have no time. It's the way I feel about a lot of video games. Not on the Switch.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
AK Rex for £10. Sucker Punch should make a game about a mysterious African man who became a samurai in service to Oda Nobunaga during Sengoku Jidai.
The Obsidian Samurai.
I think
they're making a movie about him. He's a real historical figure. Hold on one second, I'll look it up. Yeah, you can keep talking about other stuff.
Thanks for your permission.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, I'm just saying, don't wait on me. Don't add dead air because I'm Googling something. Yes, that's the guy's name.
Her and the Steadfast for Canadian $10. I got an Xbox One X about a year old. I was thinking of waiting a month or two for patches. Should I wait 6 to 8 months so I can afford a next gen console? Yeah, if you can, if you can hold off not playing this game until you have either a good PC or you have a next gen console, I would. Because I really think
your experience is going to be much better too if you do that.
If you buy it now and fiddle around with it and find that you don't like it too, you do get upgraded for free. So if you know that you're going to upgrade it, you could do what I did with Ghost of Tsushima, which was just buy it on. I got Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, but I didn't really start playing the campaign until I got the PS5. So it's not a bad move.
That's true.
Did they upgrade it for PS5?
Oh yeah. Oh god, it looks beautiful on PS5. Smooth 60 frames a second at all times. Doing the perfect parries is a lot more comfortable. You feel less like you're guessing, and it just looks stunning. It looks absolutely amazing. I think it's actually one of the best looking PS5 games, and it's a PS4 game.
Yeah, it looks really fucking good. As good as it looked, you could definitely tell there were some performance frame rate issues in that open world in Ghost of Tsushima. It's not really there on PS5, which is awesome.
So, I just learned something about the Yosuke movie. I think it is probably not going to happen because apparently Chadwick Boseman was set to play the Obsidian Samurai. So
probably not.
Yeah,
probably going to be a recast before we see the light of day on that one. But it is a pretty cool story.
Michael B. Jordan. All right, Joe Musashi for $10. One of the things that disgusts me about the Game Awards, they were pushing this Latinx gaming. As a Latino, I absolutely hate the Latin X word. I know of other Latinos can't stand the word as well. Yeah, it is this strange phenomenon. These people that are going around, and I saw that presentation. There's a lot of these little diversity pushes in the Game Awards. And one part was some 30-year-old chick who was like, as a Latinx person, I always really felt like I needed more representation, something like that. And it's like, I went my entire life as a Latinx person. No, you fucking didn't, because Latinx has not been a thing until a year and a half ago. No, this is a made-up word. This is
a bunch of white women had to make it first.
Exactly.
I didn't hear this word till 2 weeks ago.
It just
I just heard it. Yeah, I heard it about a month ago. I think for the first time. I think.
And doesn't the word kind of sound like a tampon brand to anyone else?
Latinx.
It just doesn't make any sense because it's adding an English suffix, or not suffix, algebra character, essentially putting an X factor in the middle of gendered words from the Romance languages. I don't know if they tried to do the same for French and Italian, but it's such a strange thing to do. Because you're basically taking an English convention and trying to throw it into a language that doesn't have anything to do with that. And
the reason they're doing it is they want to end the binary stereotypes of gender. And since Latino and Latina are very clearly gender specific, they created Latin X to represent everyone. To not offend the two people that had a problem.
Are they going to add X's into all gendered words in those languages, all of the conjugated verbs? Or you have to restructure the entire languages. Male and female forms of words are a thing in those languages.
Can we add an X to your name, Mark the Cyborg X?
I don't know.
Mark,
would that be okay? I'm
there's
okay with
still
Mark's the cyborg.
there's still a bunch of mainstream.
No.
What's that, Flash?
I say there's still a bunch of mainstream outlets calling for restructuring the language. Spanish is sexist.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that Karl Marx the cyborg would probably be appropriate.
I am not a communist.
Oh, I know. Wait, I know who can play that black samurai. Your prime minister.
No comment. Yeah, right. Federal
got the
employee,
he's
please.
already got the makeup.
Don't put him in that position. Don't put him in that position. Mark said nothing. Mark said nothing.
Mark said nothing bad about his prime minister because he's not legally allowed to. So we're not going to ask him to take a stance. Geeky Pixie for $2. Laura Bailey is also Trunks. Hell yeah. Yeah, Laura Bailey.
Really?
Yeah, Laura Bailey's done a shit ton of stuff.
It's like my favorite Dragon Ball character too.
Yeah, so
She did young Trunks, not older Trunks.
Yeah, I gathered. But you're right. It's the older one I like because he's basically Kyle Reese.
So he's the world's worst soldier.
Hey. Kyle.
Have you ever went back and watched Terminator?
Yes,
watch
we
party
had
for
this
it. He's like
discussion last
driving
week.
on the sidewalk and no one's chasing him. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, it's not like he didn't grow up in like a
probably has never driven.
pre-apocalyptic world. He's never seen a road.
Yeah, that motherfucker's just driving on human skulls, man, getting chased by fucking spaceship-looking things, man.
We're gonna have another Terminator versus Terminator 2 fight. Is that what's gonna go on? We had that last week.
3-on-2 this time.
We have to get Uche back for that. So
Who would argue Terminator 2 is not the better of the?
Me and people.
Really? All right.
This is
Terminator
gonna
2
be
is probably one of the best action movies ever made.
And I would not argue against that. I just think the original Terminator is a better movie. Like it makes more sense. It's got a better script.
I could go full Uche.
I
Man,
totally
I don't even
disagree.
remember Terminator 1. Terminator 2 is the best.
Yeah, that was the best. I don't remember Terminator 1, but it's not as good as Terminator 2.
Terminator 1, you had like Kyle Reese is so straight. He's obsessed with her off of some picture.
He's like riddled
around.
with PTSD though. Like he's actually crazy. That's the thing that kind of makes him a compelling protagonist.
He's for sure crazy.
Yeah, and well, that's what makes it so that from Sarah's perspective, as well as especially the perspective of like the cops and the psychologist that's interacting with them, is just like this fucking nutcase is talking about being from the future, coming back in time to stop an apocalypse. He's clearly like riddled with PTSD. Like, why would we listen to this guy at all?
Only the script would have reflected all of this.
I don't know. I think it does.
Okay, apart from Dark Fate, Flash, which one's the worst?
Oh, Dark Fate is always going to be
Yeah,
the
you can't
worst.
say
That movie
Dark
was
Fate.
such a piece of shit.
Genesis is the worst.
It's not Salvation because Salvation is fucking awesome. Even though everybody hates it, I love it.
I think Salvation is all right. I wouldn't say it's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think
like,
it's
how
how
are they having campfires all over the place? Aren't there supposed to be like roaming Terminators all over the place, and you have a campfire at night? Like,
you gotta not freeze to death though. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, I know Salvation has problems. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, Christian Bale is my favorite actor, but even outside of that, I've seen Bale in some bad movies. Some movies because Bale takes a lot of odd roles. But I'm not the biggest fan of McG. I like McG. McG's okay. But there was something about the way that movie looked and felt, and I just enjoyed the atmosphere, and I thought everybody did a pretty decent job. Bale's it's not his best performance, but it was still a pretty good performance.
Can you do an impression of Bale on set?
The fuck are you doing? That's how me and Ryan are going to be. One of these days, me and Ryan are going to argue and like, seriously, me and you are done professionally. The fuck are you doing?
I didn't hate Salvation. If they were ever going to continue it, they should have just continued off of that. But
yeah,
too late now. They already killed it completely.
They also did I think it was a rewrite to keep Christian Bale in the movie. That I think the original ending was supposed to be that John Connor dies and they take his heart and put it into Sam Worthington's character, and then the John Connor that everyone knows throughout like the legends and like the one that sends Kyle Reese back is actually Sam Worthington, who's just
fuck
assumed
that
the
noise.
mantle of John Connor. But yeah, apparently Christian Bale had a problem with that, which is why they switch it so that it's Sam Worthington's heart that they give to John Connor at the end. It's been a few years since I saw it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ends.
Nobody wants to see John Connor die, and that's
If John Connor dies, the whole thing's over. The end. They win.
At the end of the day, all of this argument, the only thing I can say is you got to be pretty fucked up in the head to be John Connor to send a dude back and say, "Here, go plow my mom," which is basically.
If you know that that's how you're going to exist, I think it'd be something that you'd want to do.
Yeah, but it's still.
It's even stranger to fall in love with some crappy beat up picture. Like he's just like staring, like, did he even have anything else?
Well, I can't imagine. There's not exactly fucking.
Well, there's no women running around.
Maybe Kyle.
He's apparently so unlucky. He only fucking falls in love with some old Polaroid picture that's wrapped up in his pocket.
Well, I think it's like I always thought it was kind of implied that like John gave that picture to him, knowing that he would have to go back in time and become his father. So,
but he clearly says he fell in love with it. He's like memorizes the way the hair like he spills all this out in the movie. It's really creepy.
Well, okay, James Cameron isn't exactly perfect at writing love stories. I'll give you that.
I love how divisive Terminator is for this podcast. It's fantastic. Go ahead, Ryan.
Terminator 1 has the best sex scene in all of cinema.
The reason that Kyle Reese is not a good soldier is because he's a fucking shit soldier. The reason he was sent back is because John Connor knew he was an incel who would immediately fall in love with the first woman that gave him any attention.
All right, look, this is what we all need in our life right now. Speaking of Terminator, okay, this is what we all need right here. Okay,
that's tomorrow, and that is it for us today.
Is it playing?
What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
I want you off the fucking set, you prick.
Okay, but yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
What don't you fucking understand?
There's no words there to play us out. What does that mean? To play us out?
Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur. What don't you get about it? Are you professional or not?
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
To end the show?
No! No!
All right, go.
You're unbelievable, man. You're unfucking believable.
That's tomorrow, and that is...
Give me a fucking answer!
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay.
Let's go again!
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Oh, good for you!
Fucking thing sucks!
Yes, you don't shut up for a second, all right?
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Stay off the fucking set, man.
That's fucking brilliant.
That's so good. So another Terminator argument for our podcast. That's I actually like it. I like that we are so focused on that. Anyway, shit's so good, man.
$5. Naughty Dog's so progressive. We locked the woman outside while the man sat and talked.
Lethal. That was the first time Lethal actually messaged me. He said, "I think I'm going to buy this game after seeing that shit."
Yeah, like, wow. Why did they lead with this type of marketing?
$2. I miss Yellow Flash's Flash Gordon intro. Dumb YouTube.
Yeah, I miss it too.
Did it hit like all of your previous videos?
Yep. I had to go and spend like 4 hours cutting it out in that editor.
God, that sucks.
Yeah,
like
it took forever.
3 bars too. Like you didn't use that.
I know.
Much of it.
I know. That's such bullshit. Wow. I used about 15 seconds total. And then I had a remixed version, which just had it in the background a little bit. You could barely tell it was there. And they still hit that too. So it was done.
Venom for $5. Off topic, but what's going on with Vic, Flash? Stop following Nick once he got political with police on his channel.
I don't ever hear him get political about police.
Well,
I don't know what that is, but
I do think like Nick takes a look at things from an actual legal perspective. So yeah, feel like he criticizes police a little more than he maybe should, but he's coming at it from a defense attorney's perspective.
Yeah. So with Vic, he said it could take a couple more months. He doesn't know, and that's Robin to hear about it. So.
Yeah, I saw him. He actually tweeted the other day about something like went down on Kiwi Farms or some shit. But
I'll say, he's on Twitch now, so I think they're like real Vic Mignogna. So
there you go. Follow him on Twitch. You can find out what's going on. Geeky Pixie for $2. The Last of Us song should have been sung by Troy Baker, the one that Eddie Vedder came on and did.
Yeah, I think PewDiePie should have done it. Abby's
Abby Smash. Yeah, that was a good one. Moses Tolliver for $5. But why is that? Why is the industry turned on fans? Whether it's comics, movies, games, some fans putting up our money but get crapped on.
Because fans can't be controlled. Fans are a democracy. Fans are, they have their voice, and their voice matters, and their voice don't always line up with what the overall narrative is in the entertainment industry. Whether it's video games, movies, comics, it's all about this political agenda. And if they can't have that political agenda represented in what they're doing, then they have to alienate the thing that is causing them to not be able to push it. And that's why they hate fans. I mean, again, we cover Star Wars and what Lucasfilm has done, rightfully so, because Star Wars is such a big IP and it happened on such a large scale. But the entertainment industry widely hates fans. They despise fans. They are not interested in fan voices. They are not interested in fan feedback. That doesn't mean that doesn't represent every single person in the entertainment industry, but it represents a heavy majority of the people that are in the entertainment industry. They hate fans. They just do. They do not like us having opinions. They do not like us having voices.
Yeah. They're all in their fucking little bubbles, and they think they need to tell everybody else what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on the podcast today.
Mark's got his anime waifu sneezing. Let's see. AK Rex for £2. Support independent creators. This is the way. Thank you very much, AK Rex. We appreciate that. Alex for $2 or for $5. Isn't Last of Us 2 the game where nearly every male was murdered or humiliated? Best narrative.
Yes. Except Fat Carol.
Well, men are trash.
That's right.
That's the industry logo right there.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Fat Geralt, the hero that we didn't think we needed. But there he was, just punching trans kids.
I've talked about this on Friday Night Talks a few times, but next time and every time you see one of these SJWs, okay, every time you see one of these SJWs talking about all men are trash and all men should die and all of that, just ask them, does that include George Floyd? See what they say. Watch them spurg out. Watch them fucking lose their mind. Because I've seen it happen. I saw someone do that to a feminist who said all men should die. And they said, does that mean George Floyd? And they go, I can't believe you said that. Like, you're the one that said all men should die. So just respond with that and watch them lose their fucking minds. Because the number one thing they hate is for their own logic to be thrown back into their face. These fucking people are ridiculous, and they're never held accountable for the shit that comes out of their mouth. Fuck these people. And fuck Naughty Dog.
Oh yeah, of course. Ciaran Byrne for €5. I can't stand kind of funny. Their quality went right down, as well as being soybeans after they screwed Colin. I was done. He was the heart of it all. Well, thank you, Ciaran, for that. I think a lot of people understand that perspective. We were roasting them earlier. Appreciate that. Will Gentry for £5. Best Cyberpunk glitch. When a girl went to look at herself in the mirror, it showed her naked from the waist down. Hashtag toxic masculinity. Hashtag Cyberpunk 77 for the win.
Imagine getting your stream taken down because of that.
That happened to Lethal's character.
Yeah.
I was conscious
did you,
of what I was doing on my stream.
He kept going back and showing it. Like,
did you have the nudity mode off?
Fuck no.
Yeah, okay. So that, like, what I meant is if it glitched out, like if you're trying to do the safe stream version and then it glitches out and it shows your junk, like
he
and
kept
then
going back and showing it. He's like, "This is what our character looks like, guys."
Yeah. I think expecting
big swinging dick.
I think expecting the Lethal Lightning to turn a nudity option off is the same of you like choosing 30 frames per second over 60. It's just not going to happen. He's not wired to think like that. It's not possible.
But no, like for streaming though, you probably should have. But that's what like my advice to everybody: don't stream this game. It's not a good game for streaming at all. Like
even though there was like a million people watching the night it released on Twitch. It's insane. I thought it was like 950,000.
A million people on Steam, a million people watching on Twitch. Absolutely
crazy.
I'm waiting to see the official like first weekend sales to see if it breaks that Red Dead Redemption 2 number. It might. It's tracking.
I don't know. Red Dead Redemption 2 had like unanimous. Red Dead Redemption 2 had like pretty unanimous praise when it first launched. I think that was a game that people started souring on it more later on because they'd be like, "Oh, you actually have to like interact with like the RPG systems of this game. You can't just go around picking up missions." Like, I think a lot of people were expecting just Grand Theft Auto in the Old West, whereas Red Dead's, especially the second one, is a bit more involved. Like it's more of a sim. So I think that's a game that the user ratings kind of went down over the first couple weeks rather than up. Whereas I think Cyberpunk, as they fix problems, I think it'll go up because it's pretty much had like it's about as bad as it's going to get right now. Because I think once previous gen console players or like current gen console players, whatever you want to call it, realize that they flat out just shouldn't buy this game, it'll mostly be just PC players and next gen console players reviewing it, and I think it'll start climbing up a bit, especially as they start fixing problems.
There you go. Slash and burn theory for $5. There's a Republican Senator Tom Tillis trying to pass a bill that makes it a felony to play copyrighted audio or video on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, I saw that shit.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, does he know what a felony means? Like,
I mean,
is he using that term accurately?
And I talk a lot. I talk politics on D-Day Cobra, but I mean, Democrats and Republicans pieces of shit. All right, for different reasons. And the politicians are horrible people, generally speaking. And that guy right there can go fuck himself. Like, that is such a ridiculous bill they're trying to pass. So
the problem is you have fucking 80-year-old out of touch people that are trying to regulate like the internet, and they don't understand.
And they don't understand it at all. They don't get it.
Yeah. True. Let's see. Lolliot River for Norwegian Cronus 50. Thanks for coming on so early so I could catch the stream for once. Much love for G&G and the Jer Army. Thank you, Lolliot.
Old school supporter right there. Low light River.
Low light.
Define early.
Yeah, we're here. Well, I mean, not for Australia. No time makes sense in your country. But we're here every week at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays.
Yep. You can catch us this time every weekend or every Saturday. Mike Hill for $10. Kathleen Kennedy released all this content, hoping we forget the crap the sequel trilogy was. That's kind of a good point. Before Flash has to go, I kind of wanted to get his thoughts a little bit on Star Wars. I think Flash, you're enjoying The Mandalorian for the most part, right?
Yeah, I really like the show. It's not perfect, but I think it's fun. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I really want out of Star Wars. So,
agreed.
What did you think of this fucking shotgun of all this new content presented by Kathleen Kennedy?
Well, I guess the real question is if it turns out to be good or not. I like the ideas actually of a lot of the shows, so we'll see. I mean, I think Ahsoka could be good. I really like that character. So, and then if Gina Carano's attached to that Space Ranger show, that should be good. Bad Batch, I like that idea. I don't know about Acolyte. They didn't really say much, and that's the female-centric show, right?
Yeah, that's the Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant show, and that's how I will always refer to her. I am never going to say this bitch's name. I'm going to always refer to her as Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, and I will always talk about this show as being developed and ran by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. But I mean, I'm definitely, obviously everybody knows I'm pretty much enjoying The Mandalorian for the most part. I think most people, I couldn't believe Doomcock loved the last episode. I thought it was pretty decent. It was okay. It was
Bill
fine.
Burr?
Bill Burr was really good.
I thought that was great. They gave him so much depth.
I think as much as I did enjoy episodes with the Ahsoka episode and then the Boba Fett episode, I loved those episodes. I feel like most people liked this most recent episode more than me. I did. It was fine.
I thought it was the best
Yeah.
of the season.
A lot of people have said that, and I'm maybe I need to go back and watch it again. For me, it didn't really make me care one way or the other. Like, it was fine. It didn't bother me. It was fine. It was just kind of, I didn't feel
Bill
strong.
Well, it had
enough.
him setting aside like the most important thing to him, taking that helmet off. That's like a huge part of his
reason was a little
religion.
weird.
That's what I agreed. Like, the reason that it happened, I thought was really fucking stupid. Like, they needed to scan a face. It does, like, that's obviously facial recognition, whatever. He has no security access. That means like nothing. Like, I don't understand why they needed to scan a face.
You'd think they could scan the face and be like, well, you're clearly not a stormtrooper.
Yeah, exactly. How are they not like using some sort of identity protection on it? They just scan the face to scan it. Like, that to me didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it didn't, but it was. I still like. I mean, this is some of the most character development the show has shown. Like, it's
Agreed.
usually so.
I'll say where they did well on that point was immediately once he said like, "Oh, I'm not going to show my face," and then you get the impression he's going to put on the stormtrooper outfit. I was like, wait. So is it that he can't show his face, or that he can't take off his Mando helmet?
Well, he makes that.
Like,
He makes that point
That's
in
the
the
thing.
truck.
Like they saved
Burr
that.
made
They
that
saved
point.
that with Bill Burr being like, "Yeah, okay. So what is your rule then?" Like he basically pointed out the plot hole, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, at least they addressed that. They like used it for the thing." But where I still thought they failed on it is like, why not have that same setup though, and have the only reason his helmet comes off be that the Imperial officer says, "Take off your helmet, trooper."
Yeah, that's
And,
exactly like
He
I
has to, or blow his cover. Like I was like, "What? That could have been the way you do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But overall, I it was fine. But yeah, the show itself is pretty good. It's a pretty good show. But I with everything, all roads lead to the sequel trilogy, and that's what I really can't get away from. It is interesting that of all of those announcements, and again, unless I'm missing something, of all those announcements, none of them tied to the sequel trilogy or any sequel trilogy characters. Correct?
Well, I watched.
Theoretically, the New Republic one.
I watched Jim Cox's video he put out on this. Is that true that the background of Ahsoka, the title card, is the Veil of the Force?
It's a circle like that. That's not necessarily the Veil of the Force. There's some Sith writing on it that people have been trying to translate, but people think it's just gibberish.
It kind of has a world in between worlds look to it, the logo. And I'm sure, I mean, Ryan has been spot on about this for a while. But I do believe that Ahsoka will become the central figure in the Star Wars universe moving forward for Disney Star Wars. I mean, all focus is going to be her, it seems like, which I obviously don't have a problem with that.
I think they're going to retell. I think they're going to use Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy, which resurrected Star Wars in the 90s. I think they're going to use that and have Ahsoka be the hero instead of Luke Skywalker. That's what I think.
That would be pretty hard because there's so much about like that story that's so dependent on it being about like Luke, Han, Leia, and Chewie.
It's going to be about Rand Thrawn trying to rebuild the Empire. Ahsoka is going to go after like that.
But a lot of the stuff in the Thrawn trilogy they used on Rebels already, like the Islamare and everything, like with him. Wait, did they even have Nobu?
Yeah. They did. They had Luke in there.
Yeah.
Well, again, though, what Ryan's saying is that they're going to take just elements here, elements there. They'll build new stuff around it. So yeah. And I think Ryan's spot on. And again, if you are looking for just pure Star Wars knowledge, that's the dude right there. Right, Ryan's the guy. But
fuck Lethal. He never read all those books either.
I fucking say that. Fuck you for liking the Avengers. Get the fuck off this panel.
That was it.
It's a Nintendo fan. That's like the most anti-consumer shit going.
I supported the Snyder Cut.
Avengers.
That's all I got to do to win him back over. Watch. He's just a melt right now. Watch him.
The Filoni shit kind of.
Oh no, Snyder and Filoni have been mentioned within 30 seconds.
Yellow Flash was. Oh, there he is.
Flash said, "I ain't here for that shit." No.
I can't see my my. Now I see it. Could you hear me talking at all?
No, we couldn't.
No, yeah, we couldn't.
Watching the show.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say I think that if the veil's there, the reason that it's there, she's gonna use it to get Ezra back.
Well, I think that might try to explain a little bit about what went on in the World Between Worlds. I think that like if they do that shit, if they go once more and use like the World Between Worlds and start changing shit, I don't think they're going to decanonize the sequel trilogy. I don't think they're going to reboot the sequel trilogy.
I don't think they're gonna do that either.
No, that'd be too big of a fucking pill to swallow for them. It's never going to happen. They're just going to ignore portions of it.
But in fairness to me, Lethal, so yes, you do know your Star Wars, but you don't know a lot about what they've done with these new shows because you're so fucking anti-Disney at this point. So, like, at least Ryan has seen them, so he knows the game they're playing. That makes sense.
Yeah, I just keep to the EU stuff. Everything else.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lethal's to the point can't even stomach watching them. So,
Yet to see a single episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah, so yeah, Flash is weird because I didn't see your comment there, so no, we didn't hear anything. He was probably sitting there talking. He's like, "Fuck these assholes! You're not even listening to me."
Be a guest.
It's a weird mad moment, and then something happened. I don't know.
But yeah, there's some decent announcements in there, but it's hard to get excited for anything Disney Star Wars at this point.
I got a question for Yellow Flash. Are you? Do you want to see a rematch between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Obi-Wan series?
That doesn't.
That's what Ewan McGregor said, and what Kathleen Kennedy said is they're heading for a rematch.
The rematch was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they just have no idea what the fuck they're talking about?
I think that's a very strong possibility with Kathleen Kennedy.
But I don't think that Ewan McGregor. I think Ewan McGregor understands, though. Like,
I think Ewan McGregor understands, but if we're gonna be real about it, I mean, Ewan McGregor is fucking insane. This dude's insane.
Kathleen Kennedy get asked a question spitballing. This is a Disney investor presentation that they had the entire thing scripted out. Every word she said was intended to be said. And
I agree with that.
I thought it was just going to be like flashbacks to Clone Wars.
I think that's what a lot of people thought when we heard Hayden Christensen was involved.
I think they'll probably have Hayden in like the makeup he had at the end of Revenge of the Sith and put him in like the Bacta tank that that Vader kind of chills out in. Like the one that they had him in Rogue One too. Like, don't they kind of show him floating around before he shows up on most of the
just for a second?
Yeah,
and
I think
you
they'll
see
probably
his
have.
face.
Well, because I don't think it was Hayden Christensen there. I
No.
think they'll probably use him for like times where he takes off his mask.
That's what they said.
But I'm less. Although I mean, Hayden Christensen looks pretty good. He could probably still play flashback Anakin, and even so does Ewan McGregor. So they might do flashbacks. Maybe I'll change my mind on that opinion.
What if they do like do you remember in Dark Fate when they said they're bringing back I forget his name, the kid that played John Connor?
Edward Furlong.
Yeah, they did. They just used CGI to de-age him.
They brought back a JPEG of his face and then pasted it on.
How did it look? Because I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, pretty good. No, like I mean, honestly, the de-aging effects were pretty solid in Dark Fate. Like I can't take that away from it. Believe me, I really, really hated Dark Fate. I think it's actually worse than Genesis, and I thought Genesis was about as bad as they could possibly get. But I won't take it away. Like the de-aging special effects was pretty solid. They
grandma and grandpa running around. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they should have just done the de-aging for the rest of the thing and set the thing in like 1997.
So here are the quotes for this. Lucasfilm Kathleen Kennedy promised the pair will have, quote, rematch of the century. While Deborah Chow said, we will definitely see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader get into it again. And Ewan McGregor said, having another swing at each other might be quite satisfying for everybody.
Oh, did you guys see that tweet? Somebody posted out the story of 3 headlines where Ewan McGregor's like, fucking whining ass Star Wars fans. And then the second one's about his expensive divorce. And then the third one's like, he's very excited to come back to Star Wars.
That's fucking perfect right there. That's Hollywood nut job right there. That's a perfect representation of them too.
So
Yeah.
even Ewan said there's going to be the rematch.
Yeah. Like Deborah Chow said it. Kathleen Kennedy specifically said rematch. Deborah Chow said that they will be fighting each other again, and Ewan McGregor said about having a swing at each other again.
But the good news is they're going to re-edit Star Wars again and take out the "when I left I was but the learner, now I am the master" line, because it will make zero sense.
Yeah.
I sensed something, a presence I haven't felt since last Tuesday.
It's all such a fucking mess, man. It's just, again, this is why I will repeat the Mandalorian. Treat it like a hooker, have some fun with it, and don't think about it when it's all said and done. Leave it there, because Star Wars is fucked up. And even if the Mandalorian was the greatest thing ever, even if the Mandalorian in its small little world was as good as what we expected and hoped Game of Thrones would have ended up being when it was all said and done, even if the Mandalorian was that good, it doesn't fix all of the issues in this universe. And I don't know if anything can fix it. And this issue right here that we're heading towards with this Anakin Obi-Wan situation, or Vader Obi-Wan, I truly believe that they're going to do it. I truly believe that they're going to fuck up A New Hope. I really do. And I don't think they care.
Well, they fucked up Luke Skywalker and didn't care, so why not?
Yeah.
Even Mandalorian is written like the original Super Mario Brothers game. Like every episode is just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but your princess is in another castle, and then you have to fucking go somewhere else." Like, when Ahsoka did it, I was just like, "Are you seriously saying I'm not going to be the Jedi that's going to train this kid? But go pray on that rock, and I don't know, maybe someone will find him. Fuck off." Like that is how these Ahsoka.
I'm definitely afraid that this child might eventually fall to the dark side, so I'm just gonna let this.
Yeah, and hope someone else I hope that it's not a Sith that finds him, because apparently, like, he does a forced Skype call that only the good Jedi can hear. Like, oh god.
Yeah, I thought he didn't have the training, so.
No, it definitely is that whatever that clip is that Gary shared.
I still want to know how Boba Fett got so fat in the Sarlacc pit. Was he eating the thing? Is that how he escaped? Did he eat his way out of it?
Sarlacc pit,
I don't know why.
People say, "Well, he's old though," but it's still. I mean, come on.
It's just Tamora Morrison's got a gun on, but I don't know why they didn't just use a stuntman for Boba Fett's body.
The problem is they did, and you can tell he is like he's in very good shape. The stuntman they used for a lot of those sequences, and then when you go back to Tamora Morrison in there, he's dead.
Like that's what I mean. Like, shoot around that. Like, you're Lucasfilm. You've got special effects budget. Do like the face mapping shit you did for like the de-aging and like the other movies, or just have it be that you only have like a medium close up when you have it on his face.
I'm fine with him. What's that?
Is he actually that fat?
Well, it's
he's got a little bit of a dad bod going on.
It's hard to imagine him as like a badass bounty hunter that's like messing everybody up, because like he clearly has let himself go a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Tamora Morrison's like, he's an older dude. Like, it's hard to stay in shape when you're like above 50. But
yeah,
like,
Disney they're going to give him a show. They need to give him a little bit of extra money and say, "Here, man, run on the treadmill for 6 months, and then the shooting starts."
Yeah, you got to get on that Sylvester Stallone plan. Like,
this is why I feel like we are definitely moving more into a prequel side of things with the arguments we're having, because even people that like this show can laugh at shit like this, just like prequel fans laughed at the memes. But this right here is fucking funny.
Oh no, we can't do our mission because we're out of milk. Guess we better get some at this new planet. Hey, we just need to get some milk.
We don't like Mandalorians, but we'll give you some milk if you kill the warlord monster bandit that's been using our Wi-Fi. Okay, well, give you milk. Wait a second.
Oh no, Baby Yoda drank all the milk.
That's so fucking good.
Oh,
if the show is actually half as good as that, I'll start watching it.
It's essential. That really is essentially the show. It
is. No, that whole everyone says it's like a video game storyline. No, I agree. I still like it though.
No, I do too. Fun. I do too. And again, this is kind of where we're at, where it's just like laugh at shit, you know, like there's funny stuff in that if you really want to laugh at shit and make memes and all that, it's there. And doesn't take away from my enjoyment. It's just like the Dark Knight Rises, the fucking one of the most memeable movies ever. I love that fucking movie, but god damn, if you can't meme the shit out of that movie. And It's funny stuff, and I dig it. But like sequel trilogy fans, you make fun of those fucking movies, you're attacking their humanity. You're attacking, like you're attacking their humanity. You're attacking who they are. You need to be arrested and put in jail because memes are illegal.
I think it's particularly funny because now a bunch of the sequel trilogy fans will be like, "Yeah, but Rise of Skywalker ruined everything." So that one's the one you're allowed to.
But they blame us though.
Yeah,
it's because they were trying to make you happy.
Yeah, good. I'll take responsibility. Fuck them. I didn't even see the movie, but I'll take responsibility.
It's such a masterpiece with The Last Jedi.
Does anybody have? I don't know what that source for that. What channel is that from? Do we know?
I found it on Twitter when I saw it.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I'll find it. You guys keep talking. I'll look for the source, chat, and I'll Krista, try to look for that source of that. I'll send you the tweet of Friday Night Tights. I think Gary linked it or had a little @ symbol. So I'll work on it.
Well, the out of tune theme song made it too.
Yes.
Putin's power squat for €2. Manga is destroying comics and sales. Berserk for the win.
Yes.
Yep. But you know what's hilarious about that is the comic book industry, the American industry, celebrate that. And I always like to make the example. This would be like Ford saying Toyota is saving the car industry. Like, you're not going to get any of that money. All that money goes back to Japan. What do you think? They're going to hire you to come work there? You don't have any talent.
They're going to hire you to come destroy their shit too. Yeah. James Hopkins for $5. Even Pong has a better story than Last of Us Part 2. Well, no story would be better than what they gave us. Shadow Fenrir for $5 was going to pick up Cyberpunk, but I heard you can't make your character built like a Pixar mom. No, you cannot.
PS4.
No, yeah, there's no butt options.
There's no body options. Like you can make a penis, but there are no options to change your body type, height,
size of breast,
anything like that. So yeah. Darth Vader for $5. Feel like they should have delayed the game another 2 months. Haven't gotten my game yet, but I'm very worried about the outcome on my Xbox One. The more I think about it, the more I think that this game should have probably been delayed to like summer or fall of 21, and then they don't have to release it on base consoles.
Yeah,
like they could just PS5 and Xbox Series X.
The problem I think though is that they announced it to begin with on the base consoles back before I think they knew that they would be leading with definitely long before they knew they would be launching with the PS5 and Series X already out. But yeah, I think that probably would have been the move, like another pretty significant delay, or do what like Blizzard tends to do, or at least I guess they did with Overwatch. But like Diablo 3 came out on PC like 2 years before it came out on consoles. That's not that unheard of. Like they could have done that. I think they just didn't want to because they wanted to make the big splash and have the 8 million sales in one day thing. And you need to make a game multi-platform to do that. Like doing it as an exclusive would not have been very easy to hit those kind of sales. And I think it hurt the game in the long run.
And look how big the backlash was the last time they said they delayed. I mean, they were in a lose-lose situation, I reckon.
That was so dumb, that backlash that they got for that. Like, are you kidding me?
September's the big delay they should have made. Because delaying from April to September, I think, was reasonable, especially with the pandemic. But September is when they should have been like, the release date's off. We're not going to hit November. We don't know when it's going to be ready. It'll be sometime in 2021. We're sorry. If you want to refund your pre-orders, do so now. Give it 6 months. Everyone would have forgot about it. Would have come out in March, April, May, June. Everyone would have loved it.
Yep. Like
I think gamers. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
You'll get that initial backlash from delaying it, like they have, but once it's out, though, it's out. Like these reviews that people are putting on Metacritic and everything because they're upset about how a game released, they're never going to go away. You know, unless they fucking purge like they did for Last of Us 2. But those are always
won't for this. No.
Those are always going to be there. You know,
so it's why Steam reviews have a better system, because those you can actually say the recent reviews, and if a game all of a sudden, if it's overwhelmingly positive all time, but then recently it's like mixed to negative, you know that developer did something or changed something that messed up that game. So you can at least look at the thing and be like, okay, this isn't a good time to buy this game, even if it's on sale right now. I mean,
I think gamers generally understand that delays are a good thing. Generally, it doesn't mean they're always a good thing. Sometimes it can mean that the game's going to come out and be completely broken. I mean, Scott the Waz did a fantastic video on game delays. You should go check that out. He recently uploaded it. And there's a lot of stories of games that have had development hell and didn't come out with a good product. But generally speaking, with these big titles, when you get a delay, we all know that it's a good sign because it means that they are working towards giving a finished product. We've seen game delays in the past, and they've worked out in our favor a lot. And I think that we're at a place where gamers understand that.
Yeah.
It's how you know they're not Nintendo fans, because it's like if you're a Nintendo fan, you're used to this.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I mean, it's serious, and Nintendo they delay shit all the time.
All the time.
It always comes out. And when has Nintendo ever released a broken game?
Never.
That never happened.
I can't. They always come out running strong.
Yes, they never release a broken game, and they delay shit constantly.
Yep.
So
I'm not hearing great things about the way Hyrule Warriors 2 is running, but
I don't have any problem. But that's not a really Nintendo game.
Yeah,
that's a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Nintendo published it though, and it's using their IP. So
we're talking about first party, like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, all that shit. And look, that's not to say that some have it bad. Like Metroid Other M was a bad game, but it wasn't a broken game.
Well, even that was Team Ninja.
So
how long was Crackdown 3 delayed for?
That would be a Mark question.
Like 3 years, I think it was announced when the Xbox One was announced, and then it came out like 2 years ago. But I think that was one that switched developers a couple times too. Like I think it was eventually Sumo Digital that put it out, but I forget who was making it initially. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I wouldn't really be able to give you good citations.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, wasn't that delayed for like years and years, and it just came out garbage?
Yeah, well, I think their whole thing with Crackdown 3 was they were supposed to do this cloud processing thing for it, so they could have like the whole city could be destroyed really gloriously, because basically all the Xbox Ones were supposed to be linked and do cloud processing for each other, and I don't think that ended up working out well at all. So they had to pull that out of the game and then try to restructure the game, and tried to save it by throwing in Terry Crews at the last minute, but I didn't hear very good things about it, but I also didn't play it, so for all I know, it's all right.
So basically, everything that could have gone wrong pretty much went wrong.
Yeah.
Claudia Rogojan for $5. On PC, this game lags whenever you drive at full speed. This game needs fixing now. Mark talked about the Steam reviews. The Steam reviews are, I think, sitting at 72 out of 100 right now. Mm-hmm. So, that's not what they were looking for sure. That's not what their expectation was for this game.
Nope.
So there's definitely things that need to be fixed. Dex Luther for Canadian $5. Penis size default.
Hey, Flash got to bounce. So
I got to jump out. I got to take care of some stuff. But I had a lot
thanks
of
for
fun
being here, man.
Yeah,
thanks for being here. You got anything coming up you want to
plug? Nothing yet. Just subscribe to Yellow Flash 2 and my Twitch at Yellow Flash TWO, because someone stole the 2.
Anything on their channel?
Yeah, they don't use it. I don't know what they're doing with it. Maybe they're just impersonating me on streams, going around saying "fuck you" or something. I don't know.
Fucking trolling her in chat.
That's one nice thing about being verified on YouTube now is like, if it doesn't have that big gray block around it, it's not me.
Yeah, I heard that. Hey, we need to get you. I know you haven't played a lot of Cold War, but man, we'll get you on for one of our streams soon, man. So,
are you guys all playing on PlayStation?
Yep.
It's crossplay.
Yeah, it's crossplay. So PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, I'm on PlayStation. So
okay.
I mean, if you guys are already on there, then it'll all work out anyway.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys I guess I'll DM Brian, or Ryan's kind of like your secretary on Twitter now.
It's actually Krista's the new secretary. So,
I didn't have
Ryan. Krista's the secretary. Ryan's my bitch. So that's kind of how that works out. So.
I wish we could DM on Parlor, but for some reason they have this stupid policy. I have a lot of critiques for Parlor with the way they do some of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so dumb that you can't DM. If we follow each other, we should be able to DM. I think that.
Yeah, no,
that's stupid.
That is stupid. But no, the beautiful thing about Ryan is that he's caught all of the people that hate me plus the ones that hate him. So he just deals with all the bullshit now. So
Ryan likes it.
I know he does.
Ryan likes getting in the shit on Twitter. That's why. That's how you know Ryan will be the next to lose his account.
We got 1,100 people here. How many of you bought your fuck Naughty Dog shirt from Ryan? Huh? How many? There's a lot left.
We're not gonna run out of stock. Fuck Naughty Dog forever.
Flash, it's good having you, man. So thanks for being here, and we'll get together soon, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, see you guys.
Good to meet you.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.
All right. Thanks to Flash for hopping on. That was awesome. We're gonna finish up with some super chats. Keep in mind, don't spam the chat. I saw spam from somebody who's like sends us super chats and everything, so I unhid you there. I think that might have just been a mistake, but we will. Yeah. That's the only thing you'll get really timed out for the most part is spam.
Yeah.
Let's see. To Dex Luther, Dex Luther for Canadian $5. Penis size default, Ryan or Jeremy. I think my options were bugged. Lol. Seriously, I've seen better character creation in free Asian MMOs.
I mean, yeah, the character creation is not fantastic. The stealth needs a lot of work too. Like, there's definitely things about the game that are not good. Like, and as like, I guess probably what you would call the like Cyberpunk fanboy on the panel, like I will openly admit all of that. Mostly because I think if I tried to like downplay any of the faults that the game has, you guys would never trust me for reviews. So like, I will absolutely fanboy. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I try to will always be honest about problems I find in games, even if I subjectively like the game. Subjective like versus objective analysis.
There you go. Krista Joe for $4.99. Jeremy, be real. You shared that Switch news just to troll your team. What exactly did you bribe Ryan with to get him to support your trolling?
Hey, it was an honest, when Ryan's defending me, I did nothing wrong. Mark and Uche are just sensitive little bitches when it comes to Nintendo. So,
well, like, often Jeremy will like put things like that. It's kind of like a fuck you, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't. But it was funny to see the way that he immediately got jumped on.
Oh yeah. I woke up and saw the group chat had dozens and dozens of messages. I was like, holy fuck, what happened, man?
I was honestly like, the only reason I argued against it was mostly to look out for Jeremy, because I was like, Jeremy, if you like go try to like use this as like a flex, like it doesn't mean anything. Like I was just trying to say, like, you just shared a useless statistic. That's all I was trying to tell him.
He wouldn't have said that if it had anything to do with Nintendo. If it was something else, he wouldn't have said it. But since it was Nintendo, Mark said something.
Well, I mean, honestly, if the headline was PS5 breaks hardware launch records, but it didn't outsell Xbox One X, Jeremy wouldn't have cared. But it would be the same statistic.
That's not true. I mean, I follow VG charts consistently. I'm very, very much caught up in video game sales. I follow that shit a lot. And that's why I know that the Xbox One sold like 9 consoles, and
it was a hypothetical, Jeremy, but all I was trying to tell you is that the statistic is like it's useless data because it doesn't actually tell us anything. Well, there's nothing we can analyze from.
All data is useless if you want
to say that's not true at all.
But it's not useless data. Like, again, the Wii U didn't outsell anything 2 weeks into its fucking launch because it was a fucking trash system in terms of their marketing. The fact that the Nintendo Switch still is selling in record numbers. It just had its best October ever, and it just sold more systems than any system in any quarter since 2009. Those are not useless statistics.
No, but it beating PlayStation 5 is useless because of the supply line. The supply line is the only thing that makes that. It has all the effect on that statistic. It changes it entirely if you all of a sudden make stock of PS5 unlimited.
Yeah, the reason is because, like, for fucking days, it would, like, literally the internet was just alive with people freaking the fuck out because they could not get a PlayStation 5. Like,
but again, yeah, but the Switch,
hard to find the Switch.
Right, I understand. The Switch is ahead of the PlayStation 4 right now in the same time frame. Is that a useless statistic?
No,
but it's not the headline you shared.
But the point is that it's still impressive that this system is still selling in the numbers it's selling. And when another system breaks a console record launch, and yet the Switch is still tracking, those numbers are impressive for both systems. That's all I was saying.
Sure, but I'm saying they don't have anything to do with each other, though, is my point.
I mean,
whoever wrote the headline was the one that just collated two pieces of data that are kind of not really related It's just like they're together, and it sounds like a headline.
But
ultimately, it's like,
again,
okay, well, there's
if
factors
Nintendo,
behind that statistic.
if the Switch wasn't number one for the last 2 years, then yeah, it would be useless information. But the fact is the Switch has been the number one selling consoles consistently for 2 straight years. And this month, most people assumed that it would lose that title. Those were headlines everywhere. That is the entire point behind the headline, was that the expectation was that after a 2-year reign,
But
it
Jeremy,
would lose that title this month.
Did it retain that title because the Switch is that popular, or did it retain that title?
It's ahead of the PlayStation 4 at this point in time.
Okay, no, ahead of PlayStation 4 there, that's an actual point. But that headline said it was not beaten by PlayStation 5. Is that statistic because the PlayStation 5 isn't as popular as the Switch? Or is it just because they did not have enough PlayStation 5s to outsell the Switch this month?
Well, again, then that same thing applies to the Switch, because you go anywhere, the Switch is not just sitting on shelves.
All right.
When's the last time you saw a Switch in a store? When's the last time you saw a Switch in a store?
A week ago. They're actually in Canada, pretty easy to find.
Well, you live in fucking Canada.
GameStop the day before Thanksgiving and bought one. So
I have not seen a Switch consistently in stores since March. That's just me.
That's what I'm saying. It is out there. Specifically at a couple places, and it's much easier to buy on Walmart during Black Friday than the PS5 was, because that was essentially impossible, even though I got lucky.
I'm saying the only thing it's saying is that they're both meeting 100% of their demand, but comparing those demands to each other is totally mediated by the supply. It's like saying I'm a better race car driver than you because you're driving a Honda Civic and I've got a Lamborghini. It's like, well, if we were both in Lamborghinis, then we'd really be able to see who's got what. Right?
I agree. Both of you have points, and neither of them matter. Mike Hill, Mr. J for $10. Cyberpunk for me runs fine on my Xbox One X, though I have an instance where the game freezes. Outside of those few times, it runs fine on an Xbox One X. Thank you, Mr. J, for letting us know. Mike Hill for
J.
Mr. J, Mike Hill for $5. Are you digging the cleaned up look of Boba Fett's armor?
I liked it.
It was kind of distracting, to be honest. It was pretty distracting.
You didn't see it happen. He just walked out. He was like that. But
yeah,
it makes sense that he would do that. So
yeah, especially it's been a long time since you've seen the armor, him buffing it up like that. That made sense to me.
Yeah, it was fine, but it was a bit distracting because it was so cleaned up. I mean, it was distractingly clean. It looked like a cosplayer.
Did he recolor it? Is it still the same colors?
No, it's still the same colors.
Same colors. It just looks brand new.
It was clearly repainted, but it is still the same color scheme.
Yeah. I've seen this like the entire time going on a little bit in the stream. So people saying that, we're not holding CD Projekt Red accountable. If you dumb motherfuckers would actually, we have been criticizing CD Projekt Red. Mark is the only one who.
I'm the only one defending them at all, and even I'm pointing out a lot of the problems the game has.
He is talking about the problems that it has. It's not okay. And if you open your fucking ears and listen to us, maybe you'd understand that, you stupid fuck. Back to super chats.
I would have been nicer about it, but yeah.
Yeah, Queasy for $5. I bet Kibblesmith
didn't I say how much I just outright don't like this game, regardless of the glitches and shit?
Exactly. Exactly. Queasy for $5. I bet Kibblesmith and Druckmann are getting some soy coffee right now. Love you, bros. Keep your head up, Mark. Thank you, Queasy. Appreciate that. Mark appreciates it too.
Thank you.
Deep Green Devotee for $2. As an Irish American, now they call me Clover Honky. Thank you, Deep Green Devotee. Appreciate the super chat. William, where'd that go? Fuck. I hate it when it skips like that.
You fucked it up.
Yeah. All right, here we go. William Hollinger for $5. Forza Horizon 4 had National Hispanic Month cars when I checked it out. I was like, okay, it had Mexico instead of all of them and saw Black Lives Matter on the back of car. But there you go. It's just in every fucking game they have to put this shit in.
Yep.
That's why Mark got so criticized for his Miles Morales review.
I didn't even see the mural.
Now you know how I feel. I didn't even say anything. I got criticized. How's it feel, Mark? Go to your Miles Morales and review section.
Now, if I had a screenshot of the mural and said, "Wow, didn't see this coming," then like I could see people criticizing why I didn't give a take. But I gave no take because I'm like, well, I don't know, it didn't affect my experience with the game at all, so I didn't feel the need to bring it up in the review.
I just want to know more about your Canadian swagger when you're jumping off buildings.
Oh yeah.
I always look at the camera.
AB Brown or A Brown CBR for $5. All hail Ryan and the Geeks and Gamers podcast. Make sure to touch Yellow Flash real hard. Thank you, A Brown CBR. And I think evidently he spilled some fucking soda or something on his keyboard, which is why he was spamming the chat. You're unhidden, so you should be good. Should be good. Glinzer for $5. Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, Aliens, or Terminator 2. Which is the best sequel?
Aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
Oh. Of those, Aliens would be my last one in that pick.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan is one of the only pieces of Star Trek that I like legitimately care about. And Terminator 2 is obviously fucking incredible. I'm not to bash on Terminator. Let's not start an argument. But that's for me. Putin. I see Nerdrotic. I see Nerdrotic in the chat. The RK Outpost customer service seminar coming soon. Yeah, tell people to go fuck themselves. Putin's Power Squat for €2. Yellow Flash. Play Terminator Resistance. It's good. There you go. Well, I will DM him and let him know that. Putin's Power Squat. Thank you. Christoph the Polish guy for Polish money. I am so disappointed we didn't see Elden Ring trailer. Jeremy, you've seen the Star Wars Bad Batch trailer, and are you excited?
I haven't seen the Bad Batch trailer. I enjoyed the Bad Batch arc from season 7. So yeah, I'm okay with it. It sounds good. It's hard to get really excited or really upset about Star Wars at the point because it's just such a shit show. But yeah, Bad Batch sounds good.
I think that Bad Batch, like themselves, without the like storyline of Rex and like what they're trying to do there and Anakin I don't know if that's really that exciting, but that's just me. Maybe they'll save Baby Yoda. Who knows? Iconalis for $5. Mark was mostly right about the OG End of Salvation. Face would have been transplanted, was changed because the script leaked and fans vocally disapproved.
Maybe that was it. They changed it to the heart being transplanted.
A good thing they changed it since they hated it. Geeky Pixie for $5. My stream's still up, and in a glitch, and all my characters' clothes were not visible, and everyone was like, "Hey, Pixie naked, lol." Well, thank you. Fat Steven Seagal for Canadian $2. My guess, Lando, a protocol droid too far. Pair of WD-40. Is Lando just going to be fucking droids in his spinoff? Who knows? Thank you, Fat Steven Seagal. AK Rex for $2 or for £2. Jeremy, call her Leslie. Give me a headland.
No, that would give her too much credibility. She is Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, and that is the only thing she will be referred to by me.
There it is. Christoph the Polish guy for more Polish money. Last Mandalorian episode was nothing more than a clear setup for the last one. Yeah, and I don't think that's really like a problem. To me, it didn't really do anything for me. It was stupid at the end for him to announce that he was coming from Moff Gideon. Like, there's no other way to describe it. That was absolutely fucking dumb.
Yeah, that was dumb. Like, I'm gonna tell this guy that I'm going to be attacking his ship so that he prepares.
Yeah, like I get you want. Oh, look, he said the same words to him about Baby Yoda. That's so cool.
It's weird because he's like how important Baby Yoda is to him, but like the last episode, you're basically like, kid's gone, no big deal. They're like, no, we got to get him back. You know?
Yeah, like so that those lines, I agree. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting if those lines that Moff Gideon uttered at the end of season 1, if he brings it back, turns around on him. That should be done when he has a gun to his fucking head, when he has won the day, and when he's walking away, like before Moff Gideon's ship blows up or something. That's when those words should be uttered, not beforehand, to let him know, him and all the shit he has at disposal, to let him know that you're coming for him. That makes zero sense. Also, they should have been fighting the Dark Troopers before this. They should have had an encounter with the Dark Troopers so you could understand what a threat they are. so that the first time we see them in combat isn't in this final episode when he's going to go on there and defeat them and steal the baby back. That's stupid. But that's just a nitpick. Lowlit River for 50 Norwegian krones. Seems like the algorithm has been screwing me. This is my most watched channel, yet I never get notices for streams happening earlier than 3 a.m. Thanks, YouTube. That is weird, man. But we're glad you're here today.
Yep. YouTube's fucked. So
Geeky
I was
Pixie-
looking, like, I watch Officer Brandon Tatum, who's got like 1.5 million subs, and his views are always ridiculous. And then the last 2 weeks, just been like a shit show. Like his videos are getting crushed. It's so weird, man. YouTube is just a fucking game, and you have to play it. And sometimes things are up, sometimes things are down, and you just got to power through it.
You have good months and bad months. It changes. It promotes different people. That's like what happens.
I mean, look, most of our our views, like, again, I've talked to Ryan about this when the channel really kind of took off a couple years ago. If I hit 10,000 views in the first hour, and that was a very rare thing, but if I would hit 10,000 views in the first hour, it was guaranteed that was a minimum 100,000 views. Easy. Not even close. I put videos up recently in the past couple of days. They'll hit 20,000 views in the first hour, barely break 50,000 when it's all said and done. It's just fucking weird, man. The way that it's all about recommended. You got to get into recommended videos. You got to get into recommendations. Subs don't mean shit. YouTube's only going to send out a small number of notifications to your sub. It's recommended videos. And if you don't get in recommended, you're not going to get big views. It's strange. It really is. D-Day Cobra gets more views than Geeks and Gamers half the time. Sports Wars, a couple months ago, everything we put out was getting 100,000 views. Now, nothing. It's just, you just got to keep.
Or anytime they let a female kicker play. Geeky Pixie for $5. I felt like giving Pedro what he complained about, more time out of his helmet. It felt forced. Why didn't the prisoner just scan his face? It was clearly a setup for him to scan his face. I thought there was a lot of ways they could do it better. Or, the thing is, Bill Burr, they're like, I hate this helmet. I take it off. So you can clearly see, that's Bill Burr. That's the Mandalorian. But then to have him not put his helmet back on when they walked into
that was weird.
It's so dumb, because he would not want to be showing his face, because maybe there's somebody who knows who is driving that fucking thing, knows that he doesn't look like Bill Burr. Some fellow drivers were like, I've never seen your ass before. Who the fuck are you? Yeah. Like, it is so stupidly written. And that's the problem with The Mandalorian in a lot of ways. It's these like small things that it's so dumb that they're not thinking about that. Stupid Monkey for $5. I'm upset that in Cyberpunk I can't do God's work. That's what I call doing the deed with lesbians as a man. Yeah, you can't screw lesbians if you're a dude. William Barr for £2. Ewan McGregor is a bellend. I can say that as a Scot. I believe that's
word here as well.
What?
We use that word here as well. It's bellend.
Is it just mean an idiot?
It's the tip of the penis.
I've heard that word a bunch of times. I never knew what it meant until now.
Me neither. Biggles Mets for $2. Are we making fun of Jeremy yet? Always. Brown Gaijin for $2. That was funnier than anything on late night. The Twitter clip. Thank you, Brown Gaijin. Finecastle IE for €5. Did CDPR release it this way because of licensing issues similar to Fallout New Vegas by Obsidian launch? I can't imagine. I don't think that would be the case.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, repeat that.
It says, did CDPR release it this way because of licensing issues similar to Fallout New Vegas by Obsidian launch?
No. It's shareholders for sure.
By the end of the year.
I think it was just their shareholders were probably getting very nervous and being like, look, like this fiscal year needs to have, or not even fiscal, the calendar year needs to have this. We have to get it out before Christmas, put it out, fix it later. Tons of games do that. It'll be fine. And I think it was a bad idea. Like they really should have just, like, again, not in December. Like, because I think a bunch of people saying, if they delayed it again, it would have been terrible. I don't think in December 5th they should have been like, okay, we're not going to hit the 10th. We're delaying it into 2021. In September, Like after the first delay, or even in April, realistically.
Yeah.
Like if when they were going to delay and not hit the April, be like, yeah, no, we might even need another year on this. The game's just not where we need to be. Sorry. Or if in September they said we're going to need another 6 months at least, we're delaying it into 2021. We'll announce a firm release date when we have it. But for now, the release date has been changed from September 20th or 17th, whatever it was, to when it's ready, which actually was the initial release date that they should have stuck with.
Yeah. There we go. Jesse Padilla for $5. Did you guys see Apple throwing themselves in the gaming industry? First, they got in computers, MP3 players, phones, TV. I see gaming next. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be surprised. Gaming is the next big thing. Like you look at how much the gaming industry brought in monetarily versus what Hollywood did. Not even this year because of the coof and everything, but like in general, it's a massive industry and everybody wants in on that right now. It is still growing. Which
is why it was kind of funny to see at the Game Awards them trying so hard to like shake hands with Hollywood, be like, oh look, we've got Brie Larson and Christopher Nolan, and like it's like, oh god, like you're making more money than those people are right now. Like you understand that, right? Video game industry.
Somebody watched Bellular News.
Yeah,
Jeremy described the moment how he felt when he saw Christopher Nolan give the award to The Last of Us.
He didn't see it. I had to tell him.
No, I watched it.
I thought I could have. Oh, it was just the first one where I just told you.
Yeah, the Brie Larson Abby one, I didn't. But I mean, again, I think Ryan said it best about Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan also talked about how they all have great storytelling, and Animal Crossing was one of the nominees.
Yeah,
so.
Fucking stupid all of this is and how fake all this is. Christopher Nolan said that Animal Crossing has a fantastic story.
Shut up and read the paper, Christopher.
It's the story you write.
What the fuck?
And I will say, I do think that there's some strategy behind having, which I'm shocked it wasn't Keanu actually, because Keanu is just like one of the most likable people on the planet. But I definitely think having someone as credible as Christopher Nolan to present that award and knowing that it was going to go to Naughty Dog, there is some strategy involved with that. You know, the optics of that, like credible person giving this game award to The Last of Us Part 2. Fuck these people.
Yeah, after their Eddie Vedder performance, that the chat for was actually making me kind of sad. So many people were just like, skip, boring, old man singing. I was like, oh man, that's like
the chat was ruthless during that. They were ruthless.
I was like, I don't like The Last of Us 2, but I wouldn't be giving Eddie Vedder all this shit. It's not his fault.
All the uploads for The Last of Us winning got ratioed. Like when they did the individual video frame.
Really? Oh, that's
it's all the alt-right trolls. So nothing at all to do with the quality of the game.
Incogcheato, did you guys find the Baby Yoda milk parody? If not, look on YouTube. Every episode of The Mandalorian. We did find it. We did put the link in there, so hopefully you guys found it as well. AD for €2. Thoughts on comic Drake Miles Morales vid? I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
comic Drake. Is that someone that I'm just not aware of?
I've heard of that channel.
Oh. But what about Miles Morales? Is it about the comic or the game? Or
I mean, he did a video a month ago, said why Miles Morales matters. Maybe that's the one. I'm not sure.
I mean, I like Spider-Verse and the Miles Morales game, but I've never read a Miles Morales comic, so I don't know how he is.
Yeah, Spider-Verse. I enjoyed Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Spider-Verse is good. It's
comic Drake used to be on Game Theory.
Okay.
Okay.
Christoph the Polish guy for 25 Polish money. Original plans for Obi-Wan show that involved Darth Krayt sounded incredible. Sounds like the show will be crap. No, please don't. Please don't make it about bringing in and massacring yet another character from Legends, at least in my opinion, Christoph. Go ahead, Lethal.
Is Acolyte going to be about Asajj Ventress? Wasn't she always referred to as like an acolyte of what's his name?
I don't think so. There's people that have said that. I think that this is going to be the Acolyte or whatever, this female-centric fuck thing said at the end of the High Republic era. Because I think that's probably a little early for Asajj Ventress. But I think that don't be surprised if Plagueis shows up in some way, shape, or form. That's kind of what I think they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you. I guess we'll see, though.
Darth Krayt is so underrated, man.
Yeah, Darth
Yeah.
Crane's an incredible
Fucking
film.
monster, dude. I mean, like you go through like you'd read like fan fictions of people coming up with all these characters, and you go, this just sounds like a even weaker version of Darth Crate. He's a
Yeah.
fucking beast, man.
I don't know him. I can't speak to Darth Crate.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Eskimono Phono for $2. Recount the Switch sales number. Stop the vote or stop the count. Seamus Carlin for €5. Hi guys, big fans. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Seamus. We appreciate the support. Keaton Smith for 99 so 99 cents, but in pounds. We'll say £1 with a super sticker with a guy with shades on. Thank you very much, Keaton. Shane Bentley for $10. Congrats, Jeremy, and your Alabama football team winning another SEC championship. Dadgummit. With that said, I can't wait for my dogs to take on Vandy's best kicker ever.
Well, no, I mean, Alabama wrapped up their season today. I mean, they're playing Florida next week for the SEC championship, but Vandy is playing Tennessee today, but I don't think it's happened yet.
Yeah, okay, we need to be on that. All right.
So, I think it's I think the game kicks off in about 20 minutes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. And then $1 super chat from Alex Slusher for doesn't say anything, but thank you for the support, Alex. We appreciate that. It's evidently 99 pence, you uncultured swine. I don't know. You're fucking over there. Kick you out of here. I don't know. Putin's Power Squat for €2. Panel, top 5 video game protagonists and why?
Oh, fuck me.
That's a fucking heavy question. I'll say that
Kratos is probably my favorite.
Jeremy's going to say Kratos. Mine will be Darth Revan or Revan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you've played through the God of War games, and 3 is my favorite. There's not a more badass character that just gives you that feeling of just, you rip a motherfucker's head off and fuck women at the same time. That's essentially what it's like to be Kratos. I mean, he's the ultimate badass. I love Kratos. I love those games, and 3 is the top of the line, man. So,
yeah. Anybody else? Just give one of your favorites. Mark, you're muted.
Probably Big Boss for me. Naked Snake from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Lethal, say some dumbass fucking Sora.
It's not my favorite character in the franchise, but I'd have to say Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
I literally exactly.
Yeah, I mean, getting into a top 5 discussion is a lot more complicated, but I think it's fair to give all of our favorites though, and Kratos definitely mine. Love Kratos.
If there's anything good about me, it's because of Sora. Everything else is just vile.
I think it's because you've been hanging out with all that Disney shit. Did your brain in. Geeky Pixie for $2. Cyberpunk needs a tattoo/piercing creation option.
Mods.
I agree. I also you should have the ability to change how your character looks. You can't change your hair once you decide.
Oh, change it mid-game. Yeah, you're right. Especially things like changing hair.
Like that's so like basic in these games. The fact that that's not in there is really strange. But there you have it. We are all caught up with super chats, guys. We are going to wrap it up.
You guys have been ridiculously supportive. Holy shit! And again, another record number for viewership today. So again, the show just continues to build and build, and that's what you got to continue that consistency. That's something Gary, who's been in the chat, taught me about this. I'm not good at staying consistent. But luckily, our guys here, our team, we've been consistent lately, and the numbers are growing every week. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Yellow Flash. Thanks for joining us. He was here for the first 2 hours of the stream. These are getting longer and longer as more you guys are tuning in every week as well. But thank you to Mark.
Bring Krista in real quick.
Can she come in now? Is she ready?
I don't know. We're about to find out. So, are you
Krista?
here?
Huh?
What are you up to, Krista?
I was just coloring.
So Krista is our she is the machine behind Geeks and Gamers now. She's got all the wheels turning in the background, and she made a bunch of timestamps for us so we can upload these videos as individual uploads, which Lethal will be doing. The Nuggy Slayer, yes, the Nuggy Slayer is here.
And X-Ray Girl as well. She's been doing a couple of those.
Yeah, X-Ray Girl's going to be helping out with that as well. When she's not bringing us Mark's leg.
Yeah, she was working on stuff apparently.
But yeah, so
my leg's in the car, anyways.
My leg's in the car.
I had to go to my leg guy last week, and I brought all of my legs. And the running leg's the one I need on a day-to-day basis the least, so I left it in the car.
Warwat says, "Who's that hottie?"
That's me.
How you doing?
Hey, but unfortunately, Mark is taken. So, but every week the chat just kind of gets freaky over Mark. So.
Just laughing in the background.
Before we go, let's say what we've been playing. Lethal, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, mate, I've been busy. I tried Cyberpunk. Ghost of Tsushima, Soul Calibur, Avengers, a little bit of Mortal Kombat, and Call of Duty.
There you go. Jeremy, what have you been playing?
Black Ops, some Cyberpunk. I actually did. I've installed it on my PS5, and I think I'm gonna rather just put my time into this than Cyberpunk right now. If I'm gonna be spending time playing a game, which I don't spend a lot of time playing story-based games, I might as well play Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been installing all of my games on my PS5. So, but I'll definitely playing some Black Ops because I'm having a lot of fun with that game. I like how everybody's like decided that I'm just like this Call of Duty person now. It's like I haven't played a Call of Duty consistently since Black Ops 2. I just do like this new game though. I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah, I know. I started playing COD again for the first time last year.
Yeah.
You're a Call of Duty lover. That's why you don't like Cyberpunk. Mark the Cyborg, what have you been playing?
Well, I put 25 hours and 5 minutes into Cyberpunk, and I'm probably going to go out for a little walk and then get back to it because I want to have a very thorough amount of information in my brain before I start writing my review. And I'm going to actually finish the game, unlike some journalists. But I also made some time because Cyberpunk hasn't been out the whole week. I played the first 3 chapters of Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I think it's incredible. I was talking about it a little bit earlier on the show. So if you're looking for a game that you can play on like a console that is not Cyberpunk, that's also an RPG and also has very good writing, Yakuza Like a Dragon, very good, and actually has decent English voice cast. It defaulted to English. I never thought I'd play a Yakuza game in English, but all the actors are really good, and I've just kept it on there. I also dabbled with Ghost of Tsushima a bit. And and last night I played the Medal of Honor VR game, and I do not think it's very good. Respawn swung and missed on that one.
I saw some of the gameplay for that, and yeah, what the fuck?
It's weird. It's the missions are very, very short. The Half-Life Alyx does a neat thing where all of your weapons are like one-handed variations of like the Half-Life weapons. So you only have to be using one. You have 2 separate controllers for your hands. But in not Call of Duty, in Medal of Honor, a lot of the rifles you kind of have to be holding with 2 hands. But because the 2 hands aren't connected by a rifle, you're sort of just miming where your trigger guard the actual like bore barrel arm is going to be to stabilize it, and getting it to aim properly is weird. So you feel really shaky. There's star ratings over, I guess, like the difficulty of each enemy that are kind of immersion breaking and strange. It looks good. Like it looks a lot better than it does in screenshots or videos when you're actually like in VR playing it. But overall, I do not think it's very good so far. And I put about an hour and a half into it, maybe just about an hour.
There you go. Krista, what have you been playing?
She's had to step away, so you're good. I put it in the chat. If you read the fucking chat, Ryan.
No, I'm trying to fucking do other shit, bitch.
Animal Crossing, Call of Duty, and Phasmophobia because she's been playing them all with X-Ray Girl.
You got a few super chats, so.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing Cyberpunk, a little bit of Black Ops. I don't know if there's anything else I've played this week. It's just been so busy. But we do have a couple more super chats. Fluffy Panda for $5 Think the problem is too many streamers, reviewers don't have the attention span to play and properly review an RPG. Yeah, it's buggy, but come on. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that the PC, like the Steam, like we talked about, the Metacritic reviews, we see it getting bombed on PS4 and Xbox One for the performance. It is clear that there's issues on PC as well with the bugs. And I think that as much as we talked about the fucking games journalists hating on Cyberpunk, the fact is a lot of these people gave this game a 10 out of 10. And I don't know quite how you can when you see them take other things into consideration and downgrade them because of bugs, because of performance. And even on PC, it's buggy. I don't know how you can give it a perfect score.
It's why we got in an argument about this the other day, but like the idea of scored reviews are kind of nonsense 90% of the time because they're not using a metric.
It's saying 90% of the time. I don't know if that's really a good way to do it.
Fair enough. most of the time, yeah, you're right. I broke my own point there. But that's me just saying something off the top of my head in conversation. It's not sitting down and deciding this game is a 9.62 out of 175. Like it's just so arbitrary and nonsensical.
But it's representative of you. So like if you are the reviewer and a person understands where your reviews are coming from over the course of a few reviews, when you give a number, it's your number.
You have like 10 different people reviewing for each outlet at any given time. So
but that's what any review is going to be viewed subjectively. So anybody's take on anything is going to be viewed differently by 10 different people. Like that's how everything works. But I think the review I think the number is a good stamp on to reflect your experience in your subjective opinion.
I totally disagree because I think that a number is mathematical. It is objective. It's not really subjective. And if you're saying that like, well, a 10 out of 10 is like, I just like this 10 out of 10. It made me 10 out of 10 happy. It's like, well, how can you even quantify that? Does it make you as happy as like seeing your child born? Like, I mean, like what does any of that mean? Whereas if you just make an argument for
clearly the game's better than that.
Well, yeah, obviously. If you make an argument, though, for your experience with the game, also making an argument for the objective qualities of the game and actually analyze that and try to convey that to the people that you're talking about, which is like, I mean, I don't know that I'm 100% successful all the time, but it's what I try to do. So that even if I like a game, I might want to also tell people reasons why they might not like it and not just be like, oh, it's a 10. Absolutely go buy it because I had so much fun with this game. There's people listening to this right now that would fucking hate Demon Souls, but I gave that a pretty good review last week. I will also go into why there's reasons you might not like it at all and reasons why you definitely shouldn't be spending $500 on a PS5 specifically to play it when a very similar and better game, Dark Souls, is on every platform right now. Like, I think having that kind of nuance is important and it actually means something. Whereas if I just slapped a 9 out of 10 on Demon Souls, there's people that might scroll to the end of my review, see that I gave it a 9 out of 10 and think that that means they should buy it, get it, start dying 700 times and be like, oh, I fucking hate this game.
There you go.
End of rant.
Thank you, Mark. Mark D for $5. Thanks for all you guys do for nerd culture. Thank you, Mark D. Geeky Pixie for $5. I'm about to put more hours into Cyberpunk before my hangout with one of those on the Dark Council tonight. It has no issues. It has issues. Sure, what game doesn't?
There's not a Park Hoppin' live stream today, by the way. So I know a few people were asking, Chris Farcell and a few other people. So there's no Park Hoppin' live stream. But if you want to subscribe to Park Hoppin', you can do that. We hit 5K and then YouTube did our purge and we've dropped below it. So we're like a few away.
So if you guys want to go subscribe to Park Hoppin', you get it back to 5K. If you haven't,
go ahead though, Ryan. You had something to say.
But yeah, I was just going to basically wrap it up. We've been here. Thank you guys so much for the support. For a lot of people, we had 1,200 watching for a long time. Good stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
We appreciate it.
So we will be live tomorrow, Sports Wars, Ryan and I. John probably joining us. Uche might be there. And then Switch tomorrow night, Mario Kart, all on camera as before.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Lethal, Mark, Jeremy, as always. And we will talk to you guys later. Peace.
Very rude.